It's Friday, March the 6th. Today, sooner than expected, when the province's first supervised consumption site may be ready to come online as the government looks to fast-track the project. Also, more housing, industry, and Slurpees, what Mayor Scott Gillingham unveiled in his annual State of the City address. Plus, topping up while others turn away, what consumers are choosing, and why Manitoba may be bucking the trend around alcohol consumption. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday to you. We made it to the end of the week. We are here, and on Sunday, it's International Women's Day. So Ainsley McPhail is going to be spending the morning at the University of Manitoba talking about some of the key programs and things that are happening there that are really helping women get ahead. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that throughout the morning. But coming into work, Terry, wow, freezing drizzle. My windshield was freezing up right away. I was using a lot of windshield fluid to sort of keep it clear, but then the roads started getting icy because it's building up there too.
Yeah, my driver this morning said the same thing. He's like, it's so icy out there, and you notice just this shield of ice all around the car, and you're right, just freezing on contact. So it is going to be a very slick morning. Please use plenty of extra caution and give yourself a lot of extra time as well so that you can move at a slower pace and not feel rushed and anxious. Minus 10 at the moment, feels like minus 19. With that freezing drizzle coming down, we've got a bit of a breeze to go with it. The winds right now are out of the north-northwest, 27 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and the humidity is sitting at 93%. So you can see that fog out there as well. You'll deal with some reduced visibility, but most definitely some reduced traction. And that's not just for motorists, pedestrians as well. Slick surfaces everywhere. So no matter where it is that you have to get to today, it is going to be very slippery. There you can see on the satellite image, we're dealing with the clouds, but there's that precipitation as well. And many places have that possibility of seeing some light and scattered precipitation. Where it's going to be most organized is in this diagonal band from the southwest and up through central Manitoba, east central Manitoba. But we are still seeing some of that right here in Manitoba. Obviously, Manitoba, right here in Winnipeg is what I meant to say. Now, here's a look at those conditions that might clear somewhat overnight. So a few more breaks in those clouds, and we could see that again tomorrow. Tomorrow is still expected to be very mild, though, and the possibility of some showers passing through in the afternoon. For central Manitoba as well, more likely to be snow the further that you go up into the north, but those very mild temperatures lasting all throughout the weekend before we fall back to close to what is normal for this time of year. So with minus 3 now being a seasonal daytime high, we'll miss the mark today, but we'll get there for the weekend with those plus-digit temperatures taking us well above freezing. And then we're going to look at those more settling temperatures back to what is normal.
Thank you, Terry. A Winnipeg supervised drug consumption site may open in a matter of weeks. The province has been eyeing 366 Henry Avenue, located west of Main Street, for the site. The location is several blocks away from the government's initial pick, which was scrapped after concerns were raised over its proximity to a school and daycare. Now, the province says a temporary site may open in as little as a few weeks because the permanent one is not quite ready yet.
Manitobans have told us that one needs to be set up as quick as possible. We have businesses that have been telling us that their bathrooms are being used as, you know, an unsupervised consumption site. We see this all over the streets that people are using unsupervised, and we have a responsibility as a government to support people to get onto a path of recovery.
Minister Smith says the province is fast-tracking the opening through a class exemption in the regulation. She says the exemption allows for an overdose prevention site to be set up on a temporary basis due to urgent needs in the community. The minister added the province has been in consultation with the federal government. It appears Mayor Scott Gillingham is already gearing up for the fall election. He delivered his last State of the City address of his term yesterday and made a couple of big announcements. As CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, they include a $48 million housing project for downtown and new 7-Eleven stores.
After a number of stores closed, Mayor Scott Gillingham says 7-Eleven could be expanding in Manitoba,
including several new franchise locations right here in Winnipeg. And I'll drink to that.
During the annual State of the City address, Gillingham said 7-Eleven officials have told him they're opening new stores. In 2024, 2 city councillors told CTV News 10 7-Eleven locations were at risk of closing because of retail theft. Since then, some have shuttered.
Many Winnipeggers took that as a vote of non-confidence in our community, in our downtown. What today's announcement signifies is that's not the case.
It's unclear how many stores could be coming or where they will pop up, but the mayor says the city is taking safety seriously.
I think it's important. You know, a year ago, 2 years ago, some 7-Eleven stores closed, and a lot of people were, saying, "Oh, this is, the sky is falling." Look, we're really excited.
The other major announcement in his speech, the vacant Marlborough Hotel downtown will be transformed into 307 apartments. City Council will be asked for $5 million from the Housing Accelerator Fund for the $48 million project that could see retail and restaurants on the ground floor.
Really creating density, creating housing units, and at least 15% of those will be affordable.
This was Gillingham's last State of the City speech before the fall election, and it appears he's already in campaign mode. He suggested to the crowd they will hear 2 narratives in the months ahead. One, that nothing is working, and that nothing has improved. The other?
Look at what we have built. Look at the opportunities in front of us. And look what happens when we stop kicking the can down the road and control our own future.
It was a very bullish presentation by the mayor, almost like a pre-election speech.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The mayor also put forward a vision for what he called a sky economy. Gillingham says the federal government has a $500 billion defense industrial strategy. The mayor says this is an opportunity for Winnipeg to grow the city's aviation, aerospace, and defense sectors. Canadian and U.S. stocks plunged, with the Dow shedding nearly 800 points after oil prices spiked to the highest level since 2024.
Today, my administration announced decisive action to help keep down the oil prices, including offering political risk insurance for tankers transiting into the Gulf, as you know, pretty dangerous territory. Further action to reduce pressure on oil is imminent.
Donald Trump also said the U.S. Navy could escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical artery for global shipments. Trump added that he believed oil had, quote, stabilized on a day when prices crossed $80 a barrel, raising concerns a long, drawn-out war in Iran could drag down the global economy. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Japan on the last stop of this trade trip.
The world is at a turning point. We see the manifestations in the Middle East. We see it elsewhere. And in this changing security and economic environment, Canada and Japan, with our meeting today, are deepening our long-standing partnership.
The Prime Minister started the visit with a meeting with Japan's Prime Minister. Ottawa sees Japan as one of its top trade partners. Our 2 countries already have deals in place in areas from energy to critical minerals and agriculture. Japan is also one of Canada's biggest investors. During this visit, Canada and Japan are expected to expand those ties. Japan is the last G7 country Prime Minister Carney has visited since he took office last year. An adult recreational hockey tournament is being put on hold by Hockey Manitoba.
So the tournament is on pause. It has not been canceled. I want to make sure that that's clear.
The Hockey Manitoba Cup is normally held in either April or June, but this year it isn't going ahead. So Hockey Manitoba can review the event and make sure its program and resources are aligned.
If the event can meet all the criteria that we need it to meet, I am optimistic, that it can continue. However, it needs to meet those criteria.
The Adult Recreational Provincial Championship Tournament featured 40 teams in 8 divisions in 2025. That's about half of what played the year before. Hockey Manitoba says most participants of the tournament are not current members of its organization. It's emailed those past participants and may reach out during the evaluation period. An update on what will happen to the event moving forward is expected in 2027. Every check should be delivered like this. The Milwaukee Brewers' famous running sausage mascots dropped by an elementary school this week. They were there to recognize one of its staff with the Grand Slam Teacher Award. Jennifer was nominated by her students for her enthusiasm and dedication. She was presented with a jersey and a $1,000 check. That's awesome. Here's a look at what's happening now at Confusion Corner. It looks like things are moving well to start off this Friday, though. You should give yourself some extra time when you head out. There's freezing drizzle out there right now, creating all kinds of slippery spots on the streets, especially on the outskirts of town. So be mindful of that when you head out this morning. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about International Women's Day, which of course is happening on Sunday, and you are live at the University of Manitoba. Good morning.
Good morning. When I found out I was going to be previewing International Women's Day, I thought, where can I find some of the most brilliant women in the province? So I headed to the University of Manitoba. We're at the Fort Garry campus right now. Behind me, prominent women in STEM. We're going to be talking about that coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. But first, at 6:42, virtual reality and nursing. How are we marrying the two? The theme this year for International Women's Day is Give to Gain. So finding ways to elevate women within multiple industries. And it really is a charcuterie of women that we're chatting with this morning as well. Stay with us as we learn. Back to you, Rochelle.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Yeah, you need your umbrella today. It's not pleasant at all.
It isn't, you know, and I also find myself feeling underdressed. You know how other places will be like, oh, at least in Winnipeg, we've got the dry cold, right? And the dry cold is what makes our kind of cold our own personal brand of winter. A little bit more bearable, perhaps, than what they might experience to the east or to the west of us, where it's that kind of bone-chilling cold. That's what I'm feeling this morning, a real dampness to the air on top of these temperatures that are feeling a lot colder than where we're sitting. At -10, that's actually a little bit above seasonal, but it feels right now like -19 due to a 20k wind out of the west-northwest, or north-northwest, pardon me. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 92%. We've got freezing drizzle and fog out here this morning, and yes, there's a chill to the air for sure. It's kind of cutting through the layers that I've got on right now, and I do wish I had the parka on, but you've got to be dressing for something that will perhaps come with this freezing drizzle throughout the day today, and expect that things are going to be very, very slippery. So perhaps even more important than the layers that you're wearing is what you're wearing on your feet. Make sure you've got something with some good traction. Do those penguin shuffle steps out here, because things are going to be very, very slippery with this freezing rain that has made the surfaces like skating rinks out here. The temperature today a little below seasonal, but it's still warming up for the weekend. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. A Winnipeg man who fatally shot 5 people in a rooming house has been found guilty of 5 counts of second-degree murder, and he didn't take his conviction quietly. After the jurors left the room and court was adjourned, Felix tried to talk to supporters in the courtroom gallery. That's when sheriffs tried to pull him away. Felix became visibly upset and began fighting them in court. During the melee, Felix's shirt was ripped off, and one sheriff threatened to pepper spray him. The sheriffs eventually subdued Felix and led him out of the courtroom in handcuffs. The 2-week trial heard Felix had spent days smoking crack and drinking alcohol at the home before the shooting. Court heard he later admitted to his ex-girlfriend that he opened fire in one of the units. The Crown said Felix committed the shootings out of paranoia, while the defense suggested Felix was a patsy in a setup orchestrated by his late father. A new report says Canadians are drinking less, and that means government revenue is down. According to Statistics Canada, last year's decline was the largest since data tracking began 2 decades ago. But several producers and sellers in this province say Manitoba doesn't follow that trend. CTV's Joseph Bernacki explains.
Inside Capital K Distillery, manager Martin Paysack mashes 360 kilograms of cherries, destined for one of their spirits. He says domestic sales across the province continue to remain strong.
It isn't just necessarily about tariffs and patriotism. People are actually going hyper-local. They're choosing products that take a little bit longer to make, that have a little bit more skill, a little bit more craft, a little bit more effort.
Paysack believes alcohol sales in Manitoba aren't following the national decline suggested by a new report from Statistics Canada. The federal government says national sales of alcohol declined by 3% between 2024 to 2025. Furthermore, the decline in government earnings from alcohol was the largest annual decrease since Statistics Canada began tracking this data in 2004. In Manitoba, however, the same report finds provincial net income of liquor authorities is up 1.7% from the previous year, and total value of sales is up 1.5%. Paysack says consumer habits are changing.
What consumers are choosing is they're choosing quality over quantity. So the people that are suffering the most are your multinational corporations that are churning out the same product year after year.
He says the report doesn't say what types of alcohol are in decline, and that matters. At Devil May Care Brewing, co-owner Colin Coop says their craft beer sales are down from last year.
People drinking less beer in general, I believe, and other sectors like RTD beverages, like coolers and things like that, that are having a little bit of a surge.
He believes the cost of living is hurting their margins.
Luxuries like alcohol tend to be the first things that get cut, right?
At the Lockport Grocery and General Store, owner Chris Fair's family has run the shop for 42 years. Fair says liquor sales have been consistent at their business year over year.
It's been pretty steady here and potentially increasing on certain categories, which is a little different from the norm. My store in general, we try to offer a little bit more different products than maybe what you would see at a liquor mart.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
In a statement, Manitoba Liquor and Lottery says the stats are not a surprise and say while customers may be drinking less, they're choosing more premium products. One person was taken to hospital after a vehicle crashed into a building in St. Boniface yesterday morning. A red SUV with a crumpled front end appears to have collided with the Pet Value on Marion Street. The front of the building also received some significant damage. A police spokesperson says an adult was taken to hospital in critical condition. They were unable to say whether that person was in the vehicle, store, or parking lot at the time of the crash. Investigators are now trying to piece together what happened. Canada's top soldier says our troops may be needed to help defend countries under attack by Iran.
There might be a requirement from the Gulf states to add to their defense. So this is the conversation that we need to have.
Chief of Defense Staff General Jenny Carignan says Canada is not taking part in Operation Epic Fury. That's the name of joint U.S.-Israeli operation against Iran. Later today, General Carignan will speak with European allies. After those talks, recommendations will be presented to government. It was on Wednesday that Prime Minister Mark Carney said he refused to categorically rule out Canadian military involvement in the war. Seeding season is right around the corner, and Manitoba farmers are expected to lean heavily into soybeans this year. That's according to Statistics Canada's latest crop outlook report. It says Manitoba is expected to lead the national increase in soybean acreage, rising by nearly 13% from last year to 1.9 million acres. If that happens, StatsCan says it would be the most soybeans planted in Manitoba since 2018, possibly due to lower input costs relative to other crops. Seeded canola acres are also expected to increase modestly, while farmers are anticipating planting less wheat, barley, and corn. A neighborhood in North Sacramento has been taken over by chickens.
It's like more than 100. They're everywhere. It's like we live in a chicken farm.
Chickens are everywhere. They're not quiet and definitely not tidy. Neighbors say it's not clear how this happened or where they came from, but they've complained to the city about their presence. So far, the search for solutions has come up short, with the city saying they have other priorities besides chicken control. Someone should have a barbecue. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The westbound curb lane on Logan Avenue will be closed from Blake to McKelvey Street. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Roslyn Road will be closed between Bryce and Osborne. And all westbound and eastbound lanes on St. Matthews Avenue will be closed from Sherbourne to Lipton Street. If you see any issues out there, text us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
That was savage. I'm thinking scrambled eggs for everyone. Let's turn this into like a benefit. She's like, we cut right to the chase and deal with the problem. All right, that's one way to do it. Looking outside this morning through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Just see those shiny, shiny streets out there this morning. The pedestrians, which thankfully for that particular view, were staying upright, but it will be a maybe 50-50 bet today whether you stay upright. I say that jokingly, but there's no jokes about it, really. The freezing rain from last night and into this morning has made things incredibly slick out on the streets. So do be very, very careful, both as a pedestrian and as a motorist, because the streets are also very slick, as says my driver this morning. So as far as temperatures go, we're slightly above seasonal. When -13 is a normal low, many of us are just a degree or 3 above what you would expect this time of year, sitting at -10 right now in Winnipeg and in Brandon, with similar temperatures all through the south, even central Manitoba, just in that similar zone right up into the north. You remember just a couple days back how incredibly cold it was. What a change up now for northern Manitoba to be waking up with above seasonal temperatures just into those mid-minus teens. Now, you add in a wind, and it's still feeling in the -20s, but still, that's nothing compared to the -50 wind chills from earlier on in the week. Mid-minus teens is what it's feeling like here in the south, but we've got this blanket of cloud that provides a bit of insulation, so the slightly milder temperatures, but we're getting that precipitation. Not just the flurries that you're seeing here on the map, but some freezing rain, some fog as well, so everything is looking a little bit eerie out there this morning. Mercury won't be soaring today. We'll probably top out at about -6 by the time kids are coming home from school, and that is slightly below seasonal, -3, normal for this time of year. So not getting there today, but the weekend still looks like we'll see those plus digits, and then settling back to those more seasonal temperatures on the other side of the weekend and into next week. Our picture today, how cool is this? A couple of bald eagles that were spotted by Gerald. They were probably spotting you as well with those eagle eyes. Thanks for sharing this, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Well, indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for 2, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Explore vibrant markets and serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. Loneliness is a problem some seniors grapple with later in life. Now, a new animal rescue program is aiming to change that. As CTV's Danton Unger shows you, an animal rescue is helping connecting cats with seniors.
Good kitty.
Meet Rocket. She's what Whisker Warriors Manitoba calls a comfort cat.
Good kitty.
It's all part of a new program the foster-based rescue has launched called Silver Whiskers, pairing cats needing a quiet home with seniors for as long as they need.
It gives seniors a chance to have a companion, whether, it's for, 6 months or 6 years.
Rescue co-founder Dana Shaw says the program can remove financial barriers for seniors who can't afford a pet, as Whisker Warriors covers all the costs involved, like food, litter, and vet bills.
The only thing the senior has to do is provide the cat with a loving home.
Those pets become part of the family.
Dr. Corey McKenzie, a clinical psychology professor at the U of M, says companion animals can have an impact on mental health in later years of life. And while he notes much of the research focuses on dogs, he says caring for an animal can reduce depression and anxiety.
There's something about caring for something, tending to something that relies on us, that can provide that meaning, that purpose, that can really be can make a big difference for people in their lives.
Shaw says there are already several cat candidates in the program right now, cats that may otherwise have a tough time finding a forever home.
They could sit in rescue for a year or 2 years waiting because they're not going to be an easy adoption, because, a lot of people have other animals, they have children, they have a busy home. So, yeah, we thought this was a win-win.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
If you or someone you know is interested in finding out more, you can check out the Whisker Warriors Manitoba website. Remember Punch, the monkey who went viral for snuggling with his best friend, the stuffed orangutan? Well, it looks like he might be making friends of his own. Zookeepers say Punch is showing signs of maturing and integrating with his orangutan peers. He's not clinging to staff as much, instead joining the others to eat and socialize. Punch has become a big tourist attraction for the zoo, but the keepers hope he eventually integrates enough that visitors won't be able to tell him apart from the other monkeys. Here's what's happening right now at Portage Avenue at Polo Park. The streets are really slick this morning, so give yourself some extra time when you head out and some extra stopping distance too. We'll be back after this break.
right, -10 is where we're sitting this morning, which keeps us slightly above seasonal, all thanks to some heavier clouds that have been moved in overnight and acting as a bit of a blanket of insulation. But you factor in that breeze, 20 clicks out of the north-northwest, and it feels more like -18 with a chill to the air due to that high humidity with the pressure rising and some freezing rain that we're waking up to this morning as well. So be careful out on the streets and sidewalks. I've been saying it's incredibly slippery this morning, and everybody will need to be slowing down a little bit, both motorists and pedestrians. I'll look at the satellite image and you can see a band of precipitation from the southwestern part of the province moving up into east central Manitoba. You can also see the different colors of precipitation in areas off to the east of us. What we're not seeing is any precipitation over us, but it's just so light right now that it's not registering on the satellite image. I promise you there is some activity, and you'll certainly notice it out on those surfaces, how incredibly slick they are. Right up into northern Manitoba, you might see some light and scattered snow, but the more chance of freezing rain is here throughout the south, where our temperatures are a little bit milder, though still slightly below seasonal. As we rise today, we'll top out at about -6, and -3 is in fact a normal daytime high, so still not quite hitting the mark of what you would expect this time of year. The conditions less than ideal, though, and the winds a little bit gusty at times. Now, those winds should taper off overnight as we drop down to -12, and the clouds even beginning to break up a little bit. That'll set us up for at least a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, but also possibly some showers later into the afternoon or evening time. 3 degrees, that is a +3. I just didn't forget the minus sign. There isn't one for tomorrow or Sunday as we're climbing above the freezing mark, and then once we're on the other side of the weekend, you'll see those temperatures kind of back to what you would expect this time of year.
The Manitoba government has introduced bills in the legislature aimed at cracking down on machetes, reducing the use of sick notes, and enacting other measures promised in its throne speech last fall.
So we want to give police those tools to be able to say, we want to get this off our street and ensure that it doesn't get used in a violent way that we've seen in the past.
Among more than a dozen bills introduced yesterday is one to ban so-called street weapons, such as machetes, hatchets, and pepper spray, from public areas such as parks and schools. Another bill would ban employers from requiring sick notes from workers unless they're absent for more than 7 consecutive days or 10 days over a year. A third bill would set up new licensing rules for selling animals and increase fines for people who mistreat animals. Yet another bill would increase some license suspensions and other penalties for impaired drivers. The NDP government is planning to introduce more than 30 bills in total for debate this year and is set to deliver its budget on March 24th. A nonprofit helping to build homes in the province is closed following a warehouse fire.
From our security cameras, we saw that someone broke into our compound and set a fire next to our overhead door, which then spread into the warehouse area. So very unfortunate and disruptive to our organization.
The CEO of Habitat for Humanity Manitoba says the Restore on Archibald Street, which sells donated building supplies at discounted prices, sustained substantial damage. He suspects the majority of supplies in the warehouse won't be salvageable. Adding water from the sprinkler system also added to the damage.
We had smoke throughout the building, so our offices are upstairs. Our staff are working from home today, and we're just waiting to see the extent of that damage to see how do we recover from that. Do we need to find some temporary space, or do we, can we work from home in the short term?
The nonprofit is still accepting supply donations, which it will store at its Inkster Boulevard location. Police are investigating. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will be in Washington today. He's expected to meet with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. The talks come as CUSMA comes up for review this year. Speaking in Australia earlier this week, Prime Minister Mark Carney said the deal essentially has been broken by U.S. tariffs, and Canada is looking to re-establish trust. The trip also comes after President Trump's emergency tariffs were ruled illegal by the Supreme Court. BC Premier David Eby says OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has agreed to apologize to the people of Tumbler Ridge.
Mr. Altman is prepared to apologize. Everybody on the call recognized that an apology is nowhere near sufficient, but also that it is completely necessary.
During their virtual meeting, Premier Eby also asked Altman to join the province in pushing Ottawa to set safety rules that will apply to all AI companies. OpenAI did not flag troublesome ChatGPT activity from the Tumbler Ridge shooter until after the attack. As for how Altman will apologize, that will be decided after consulting with the mayor of Tumbler Ridge. The Paralympics begin in Italy today, and a 3-time Canadian medalist is back in action. CTV's Lauren Stallone on the traditional ritual he hopes will help him win.
Local Londoner Mark Idison is preparing to compete in Italy for his 4th Paralympic Winter Games.
While I was in the hospital, made a promise to myself that I wouldn't play any sport that I had played able-bodied.
Idison was involved in a helicopter crash in 2007, which left him with a spinal cord injury.
Luckily, I broke that promise and gave curling a try, wheelchair curling, because I had actually played curling able-bodied. And I wasn't very good at it. I'm certainly way better sitting down than I was standing up.
Idison won Paralympic gold in 2014 and bronze medals in 2018 and 2022. But what he's most proud of is something much bigger.
The sport itself is important for physical and mental health, but also finding community is really important.
The team doctor, Stephen Macaluso, says Paralympic athletes have to overcome a unique set of barriers.
It's a lot of practice, dedication, commitment, sacrifice. I think the families of the athletes know that more than probably anyone else.
Macaluso says it takes a group of dedicated individuals to ensure Canada's Paralympic athletes are ready to compete.
It's obviously a process of rehabilitation, a lot of hard work on behalf, certainly of the person themselves in the recovery process, but it takes a team.
As Idison prepares for his first 2026 Paralympic game on March 7th, he's turning to tradition for a little extra luck.
I hide a loonie in the ice, around the ice surface. It's been a tradition since I started in 2014.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Here's a look outside right now at the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are slowly picking up in this part of the city. It is really slick out there, whether you are driving or you're a pedestrian, so give yourself some extra time. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average continues to rise. It's at $1.46 right now. The provincial average is $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is higher at $1.42. And the lowest price in the city is $1.36. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Sunday is International Women's Day. We are live at the University of Manitoba telling you about some of the great progress being made by women in science. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It's so very slippery this morning. The coating of ice that you're going to see on absolutely everything, but the aesthetic is so cool. Honestly, when I'm looking at the effect that it had on plants, on the railings, and then on the surfaces, yes. Walking will be a challenge today. Driving may be a bit of a challenge, although hopefully the speed of the vehicles will kind of help melt some of that down on the streets. Not entirely sure that that'll be the case, but sidewalks are like a skating rink this morning. The freezing rain was falling, still dealing with a little bit of freezing rain and some fog out here now as well. So not only are we dealing with those slippery surfaces, we've got reduced visibility on top of it all. This will continue on pretty much throughout the day today. Some places will see more straight up snow, especially in this band from southwestern Manitoba through east central Manitoba and then up into the north as well. Here's a little bit of good news. Northern Manitoba, you started to climb out of those deep freeze temperatures yesterday, and today will actually be quite mild compared to what is normal for this time of year. Here in the south, we'll still be a little bit below seasonal today, but by tomorrow and throughout the weekend, it will get mild into the plus digits. Headed on over to Ainsley McPhail now to see where she is and what's going on. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, we're at the University of Manitoba previewing International Women's Day. That's, of course, on Sunday. Professor Nicole Harder is with me. We got Jeannie Semikel to our immediate left. She's in another world right now. So how are we connecting VR and nursing?
Well, in the College of Nursing, we use simulation, which also includes virtual reality. And so what we're able to do is have learners, our students, in these virtual environments and practice all sorts of clinical situations, conversations with patients, difficult conversations with patients, difficult conversations in the healthcare team, and to practice this in VR before they get out there in the hospital setting, in clinical, so they can make all the mistakes they want in VR before they get out into practice with real patients and real colleagues.
Okay. It is fair for me to simplify this because I'm sure a lot of people are watching going, what what the heck? What are you talking about? So they can literally see a patient in real time, and you can curate it to specific scenarios?
Absolutely. So it's a hospital, and so we can create a hospital, we can create an emergency department, and now with artificial intelligence, we can actually create different kinds of patients who can have conversations with whatever we want it to say. So we can say, you're now at Health Sciences Center, you're in the emergency department, you're however years old, you're angry. And so with AI, that patient is now, they're an angry patient, and our students have to have these kinds of conversations in VR. Nothing is scripted, but there are some boundaries around it, so we can make sure that it's a safe environment for our learners, but it's really the chance to practice these types of skills.
And who's more empathetic than women? I'll have to think about that one. Talk about how that really applies to these real life conversations within the nursing field.
Absolutely. Well, historically, a lot of the leaders in nursing are women. And so we're not just leaders at the bedside, we're leaders in the healthcare system and also in healthcare education and also in innovation. We know what is needed in the healthcare setting. And so we're able to take those experiences, those skills, and create these scenarios that we know are very realistic. So that way we are able to, again, prepare our students for the practice settings.
Okay, thank you so much. We're chatting International Women's Day. That's happening on March 8th.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones lost 251 points. The Nasdaq is 182 points lower. The S&P index fell 40. The Canadian dollar has small gains, set to 73.19 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 435 points, and the Nikkei is 342 points higher. Good morning. It is 6:46. Canadian and U.S. stocks plunged, with the Dow shedding nearly 800 points after oil prices spiked to the highest level since 2024.
Yesterday, my administration announced decisive action to help keep down the oil prices, including offering political risk insurance for tankers transiting into the Gulf, as you know, pretty dangerous territory. Further action to reduce pressure on oil is imminent.
Donald Trump also said the U.S. Navy could escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical artery for global shipments. Trump added that he believed oil had, quote, stabilized on a day when prices crossed $80 a barrel, raising concerns a long, drawn-out war in Iran could drag down the global economy. In Tehran, last night is being described as the worst so far, with Israel launching another round of strikes. People who live there say their homes are shaking from constant explosions. The streets are filled with debris, and columns of smoke can be seen rising in the sky this morning. The Israel Defense Forces says it also launched a broad-scale wave of strikes against Beirut overnight. It says Hezbollah command centers were hit, as well as a facility storing drones. The death toll in Lebanon is now more than 100 people. Iran also launched more attacks overnight. The IDF says there were fresh strikes on Israel. The IDF says the missiles were intercepted and there have been no reports of any casualties. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Bahrain also say they intercepted attacks overnight. This all comes as the U.S. and Israel warn of more intense attacks across Iran. However, U.S. President Donald Trump is ruling out sending any American ground troops into Iran, calling it a waste of time. U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has been fired.
Was tasked to do a very difficult job, and I think she has performed the best she can do underneath the circumstances.
That is Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, who Donald Trump will now nominate to take over Noem's job. The shift comes after growing criticism over Noem's leadership of the department, and 2 days after she was grilled on Capitol Hill by Republicans and Democrats. Her immigration enforcement tactics have been met with protests and lawsuits. She was also blasted for spending $220 million in federal funding on an advertising campaign that featured herself, and nearly $200 million on 2 luxury jets for her official travel. Donald Trump announced he will make Noem a special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, a new security initiative he says will focus on the Western Hemisphere.
We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible.
President Trump has also now declared that he wants to help choose Iran's next leader, and he's not keen on the assassinated Ayatollah's son. He calls Khamenei's son a lightweight adding that he wants someone who will bring harmony and peace to Iran. He also called on the Iranian people to take up arms and take back their country, offering asylum if they overthrow the regime. Gen Z is apparently trading in bar stools for barbells. A new study from the Bank of America Institute finds members of that younger generation are drinking less and socializing more through physical activities. The study also found alcohol spending as a share of household budgets is hovering near 40-year lows. Also, it found spending at liquor stores is declining, while bar spending is still on the rise. However, Gen Z is also seeing spending growth for fitness and active hobbies compared to big bar tabs. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The westbound curb lane on Logan Avenue will be closed from Blake to McKelvey Street. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Roslyn Road will be closed between Bryce and Osborne Street. And all westbound and eastbound lanes on St. Matthews Avenue will be closed from Sherbourne to Lipton Street. If you see anything out there, please send us a text.
All right, outside this morning, it's mild-ish compared to what is normal for this time of year. A seasonal low would be -13. We're coming in a few above that at -10. However, you factor in the breeze, 20 clicks out of the north-northwest, and it does feel more like -18 with the pressure rising, the humidity high at 92%. That extra breeze cuts right through. It's got a chill this morning that you might not notice on days that didn't have the fog, the freezing rain, and all of those other things to go along with it. I know typically we're used to what we would call a dry cold, and that is not at all the case this morning. That freezing rain has made things very, very slick out in the streets. It doesn't really register here on the satellite image, but I promised you'll see the effects outside. There you can see some of that freezing rain off to the east, but more so straight up flurries from southwestern Manitoba that'll be arcing into parts of northern Manitoba as well, where you started to climb out of the deep freeze yesterday, and today we'll experience even more of a warm up. Well above seasonal temperatures expected right up into northern Manitoba, but you will have those heavier clouds and the precipitation likely lingering, and that goes for the northwestern part of the province as well. Maybe a few more breaks in those clouds in places like Flin Flon, Norway House, allowing a little bit of sunshine through. We're probably not going to be seeing too much here in the south, but central Manitoba might enjoy a few pockets of sunshine as well. These temperature values pretty much what you would expect this time of year, with -3 being that seasonal daytime high. Here in the southeast, maybe a couple degrees cooler than that, so not quite making it to those seasonal values, but we will still experience that warm up on the way for tomorrow, and further to the east of us on either side of the freezing mark with the heavier clouds and that bit of precipitation. We just saw it showing up as freezing rain. Well, the weekend could bring plus digits, but also a little more precipitation is possible, and then a return to those more seasonal temperatures once we're looking ahead to next week.
Terry, let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. Happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday. Happy first weekend of March, Rochelle. So this week, Gabby and I were looking at each other's driver's license photos and having a chuckle. And it got us to thinking about our first vehicles. Now, I'm not a car guy by any means, but my first car, I just moved up to Thompson for my first radio job. I got a 69 Vauxhall, an English car, not a sports car by any means, but it was trouble because I couldn't drive by myself because there was no starter. So anytime I parked the car or stalled, I would need somebody to push me so I could pop the clutch and we'd be on our merry way. So it was a pain in the butt, so I finally got rid of that one. But that was my first vehicle. How about you, Gabs?
It sounds like an adventure. Mine was a 1987 Honda Civic. It had about 300,000 kilometers on it by the time I got it. An absolute rust bucket. It's probably still running because it's a Honda. How about you, Rochelle?
Well, mine was a 1984 GMC Citation. It was a classic. It was brown, 4-door, as old as you can get. It didn't really hide the rust, but I drove that car for 7 years. It got me through university. Her name was Jordan. Yeah. She was a big part of my life. She got me to work, she got me to school, and then finally, after 7 years, I had to say goodbye. But she even had a heart transplant. I blew the motor, and so my dad had to buy me a new motor and put it in the car, so I always said Jordan had a heart transplant. She was a great car.
Clearly a beloved member of your family. I love that you named her. And you know what? Speaking of names, actually, Bo was talking about unique names on Tuesday, right? Yeah. And you have some unique names in your family.
Well, kind of. In my circle, my brother's daughter's name is Brooke. And then my cousin's daughter's name is Brooke, and my best friend's daughter's name is Brooke. So there's 3 Brookes in my family all of a sudden, and I had never known anybody with that name prior to that. So it was just kind of weird that it all happened at once. They obviously like the name, and it's stuck. There's so many Brookes in my life now.
Wow, my real first name is Wolfgang. I hated it as a kid. Now everybody says, what a cool name.
Yeah.
I should have kept it. Well, I still have it, but I'm going to use it more now.
We're going to bring it back.
All right, well, thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. A Vancouver barbershop filled with unusual decorations, dozens of hats hung wall to wall. They're not pieces of merchandise, but mementos of happy clients. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
Although the sign in his window says hair studio, Tony Lee says he's often mistaken for being a hat seller.
And then they come in here and then they say, oh, I like that one, come on down. And I said, no, it's not for sale.
Because every one of the dozens of hats that decorate Tony's barbershop is priceless.
And yeah, many stories.
All different stories that all begin the same way, with a stranger feeling self-conscious about their hair.
And then they feeling like they need to hide behind their hat.
But if they no longer feel the need to hide behind their hat after the cut, Tony invites them to retire it on the wall.
I make them to have the signature on and have the name and the date.
The date they stopped being strangers, Tony says, and started becoming friends.
Even like they climb, but they're not climbing anymore.
While Tony says there's about 100 other hats in storage that get rotated on the walls, there's just one that always hangs here.
I always grateful in that the hat.
Because it belonged to the man who first taught Tony how to speak English when he moved here from Vietnam, and despite needing a wheelchair now, travels across a couple municipalities by transit, so Tony can still cut his hair.
And he's 80 now, but he's still coming to see me.
And because each hat contains countless happy memories, Tony has promised to never sell them.
Unless they are getting famous, they celebrity, and then now I'm allowed to be auctioned, I can get rich on that.
And if that happens, Tony will accelerate his retirement plans to pack up his barbering tools and go traveling.
See the world and then see the people, and then I want to give them the haircut for free, completely free.
Because you can't put a price, Tony says, on how it feels to make your hair great again.
To make them look good and feel good.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
I like that bomber hat on the wall. Indeed. Here's a look outside Taché Avenue. Looks good so far. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this. It's Friday, March the 6th. Today, the decision is in. What's the verdict on a fatal shooting at a Winnipeg room house? Plus, the future of Winnipeg. Which popular convenience store could be expanding in the city? And making moves. Which Winnipeg Jets defensemen have been traded to Buffalo? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday to you. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, at 7:45, we're going to get an update on the Tumbler Ridge shooting that happened and the connection with ChatGPT and what OpenAI is now going to do in order to bring some kind of resolution to the community. Also, at 7:52 is an iconic song in the 80s. It was a wedding song. It was called Together. Well, that song is turning 50. It's a Winnipeg song. We're going to find out a little bit more on its history, what started it all, and what's happening to celebrate 50 years in this community and really all over the world because it was a big hit. But the weather, it's slippery. It's not fun out there.
Yeah, you had a nasty drive into work this morning, and really anybody who has places to be today will probably find that it is a little bit nasty out there, both on the streets and the sidewalks. We experienced freezing rain overnight. It's still continuing freezing rain, fog, all of that. So the streets are slick, the sidewalks like skating rinks right now. And then there's the reduced visibility as the fog sets in as well. It's -10 right now, feels like -18. You can see the camera shaking a bit. Those winds will also be a bit of a factor today. Right now, 20 clicks out of the north-northwest, the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 92%. The sun will be up in about 15 seconds time. 7:02 is official sunrise this morning. Not that we're going to be seeing much in the way of sunshine today, and that's because these heavier clouds will be hanging around not just here in the south, pretty much across the entire province. There might be a few places along that western border, northwestern, west central Manitoba, where you're seeing a little more in the way of sunshine, but you can see the flurries from the southwest arcing up into east central Manitoba, and then the freezing rain in areas off to the east of us. Well, we're dealing with a bit of that drizzle as well, and that's what has made those surfaces so incredibly slippery this morning. So the heavier clouds will likely continue for us today here in the south and parts of northern Manitoba, but you can see there will be a clearing path through that central part of the province and up into the northeast. Then those heavier clouds, well, we'll see them breaking up a little bit for tomorrow, but then tomorrow afternoon or into the evening time, possibility of seeing some showers in April. No, it's not April. April showers, that would make sense. Anyway, it's March and it's going to be above seasonal, pushing up above the freezing mark into the plus digits for the weekend itself, dropping ever so slightly, but -3 is normal, and those are the numbers that we'll get back to on the other side of the weekend. Our art today is thanks to Mila. I love this kind of spring, like with the bunnies. Everything about this is just so beautiful and happy and puts me in the best of moods with today's weather. Anyway, we'd love to see more of your artwork, so you can submit it now through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There's a form there to fill out. We'll show your art here on the show, but then you can also be entered to win a $100 gift certificate from Crockadoodle on Kenison.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
Due to unsafe road conditions this morning, there are some school closures in the following divisions. In the Lakeshore Division, Fisher Branch Early Years, Fisher Branch Collegiate, and both Colony schools are closed today. A Winnipeg man who fatally shot 5 people in a rooming house has been found guilty of 5 counts of second-degree murder. And he didn't take his conviction quietly. After the jurors left the room and court was adjourned, Felix tried to talk to supporters in the courtroom gallery. That's when sheriffs tried to pull him away. Felix became visibly upset and began fighting with them in court. During the melee, Felix's shirt was ripped off and one sheriff threatened to pepper spray him. The sheriffs eventually subdued Felix and let him out in handcuffs. The 2-week trial heard Felix had spent days smoking crack and drinking alcohol at the home before the shooting. Court heard he later admitted to his ex-girlfriend that he opened fire in one of the units. The Crown said Felix committed the shootings out of paranoia, while the defense suggested Felix was a patsy in a setup orchestrated by his late father. It appears Mayor Scott Gillingham is already gearing up for the fall election. He delivered his last State of the City address of this term yesterday and made a couple of big announcements. As CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, they include a $48 million housing project for downtown and new 7-Eleven stores.
After a number of stores closed, Mayor Scott Gillingham says 7-Eleven could be expanding in Manitoba,
including several new franchise locations right here in Winnipeg. And I'll drink to that.
During the annual State of the City address, Gillingham said 7-Eleven officials have told him they're opening new stores. In 2024, 2 city councillors told CTV News 10 7-Eleven locations were at risk of closing because of retail theft. Since then, some have shuttered.
Many Winnipeggers took that as a vote of non-confidence in our community, in our downtown. What today's announcement signifies is that's not the case.
It's unclear how many stores could be coming or where they will pop up, but the mayor says the city is taking safety seriously.
I think it's important. You know, a year ago, 2 years ago, some 7-Eleven stores closed, and a lot of people were, saying, "Oh, this is, the sky is falling." Look, we're really excited.
The other major announcement in his speech, the vacant Marlborough Hotel downtown will be transformed into 307 apartments. City Council will be asked for $5 million from the Housing Accelerator Fund for the $48 million project that could see retail and restaurants on the ground floor.
Really creating density, creating housing units, and at least 15% of those will be affordable.
This was Gillingham's last State of the City speech before the fall election, and it appears he's already in campaign mode. He suggested to the crowd they will hear 2 narratives in the months ahead. One, that nothing is working, and that nothing has improved. The other?
Look at what we have built. Look at the opportunities in front of us. And look what happens when we stop kicking the can down the road and control our own future.
It was a very bullish presentation by the mayor, almost like a pre-election speech.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The mayor also put forward a vision for what he called a sky economy. Gillingham says the federal government has a $500 billion defense industrial strategy. The mayor says this is an opportunity for Winnipeg to grow the city's aviation, aerospace, and defense sectors. One person was taken to hospital after a vehicle crashed into a building in St. Boniface yesterday morning. A red SUV with a crumpled front end appears to have collided with the Pet Value on Marion Street. The front of the building also received some significant damage. A police spokesperson says an adult was taken to hospital in critical condition. They were unable to say whether that person was in the vehicle, store, or parking lot at the time of the crash. Investigators are now trying to piece together what happened. Condo prices in the Winnipeg region reached the highest price ever recorded in February. According to the Winnipeg Regional Real Estate Board, the average condo price is now about $284,000. That's up 4% from February 2025. Despite the climb, condo sales were down by nearly a quarter. The cost of the average residential detached home didn't significantly change during that time. The Winnipeg Jets picked up a 4-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning last night. But with the NHL trade deadline hours away, attention is also turning to possible roster moves.
Pearson, good work by Tanner Pearson. Here's Nyquist, scores!
Mark Scheifele led the way with a goal and an assist. Morgan Barron and Gustav Nyquist also scored before Kyle Connor added an empty netter late in the third. In the net, Connor Hellebuck made 26 saves. The win also marks Winnipeg's 5th straight home victory against Tampa Bay. And today is the NHL trade deadline. With the first trade move already complete, Winnipeg has dealt defenseman Luke Schenn and Logan Stanley to the Buffalo Sabres. Teams have until 2 p.m. today to complete deals. Here's a look at the current traffic situation right now on Kenaston Boulevard. Things are slowly picking up over here, as you can see, but give yourself some extra stopping distance. It's slippery on the streets and especially on the sidewalks.
Oil prices are rallying again after appearing to flatten on comments from the U.S. Energy Secretary that the war in Iran could end in a few weeks. They started to climb again on an interview by Qatar's energy minister, who said the war could halt production, which could send oil to $150 a barrel, something we haven't seen since the 2008 meltdown. Just hours after landing in Tokyo, Prime Minister Mark Carney and Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae signed a new comprehensive strategic partnership looking to deepen ties across defense, energy, and technology. We do much, but we're ready to do much more, Carney said in remarks after the signing. And Pakistan is voicing concerns over the uranium supply agreement Canada signed with India last week, according to Geo News. The Pakistani Foreign Office warning that assured external uranium supplies could allow India to divert its domestic uranium reserves for military purposes, potentially increasing its production of fissile material and accelerating the expansion of its nuclear arsenal. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
International Women's Day is happening on Sunday, and we are celebrating women doing innovative things in this province with Ainsley McPhail live at the University of Manitoba. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to be chatting with the first female dean of the Price Faculty of Engineering. That's the long, any title that is long. And you know what? Actually, as a matter of fact, every time I interview a woman on International Women's Day here, I said, which title do you want me to pick? Because they always have 12 of them, and they're all exceptionally important. Another one, Tina Chen. We're going to be chatting with her coming up at 7:27. We're going to be talking about equity in sport, of course, with the Olympics and the Paralympics going on right now. Lots to banter about there. Indigenous women in football. Now that is a niche, and the girls from the Saugeen First Nation, they were awarded a $25,000 scholarship. $25,000. My goodness. See, not a mathematician here. Yeah. Scholarship.
Well, you're in the right place.
And they're going to be speaking at a panel on International Women's Day. Okay. I know I'm out of time. I'm sorry, Director Kim.
Okay, thanks, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
So it feels a little bit better. It's brighter out here, so that always helps. I say it tricks your brain a little bit into at least thinking that you're joined by the sunshine, even if I can't actually see the sunshine. And that's because we've got some heavier clouds hanging around, maybe a bit of fog, although I've rolled up the umbrella. The freezing rain from earlier this morning has seemed to have tapered off. -10 right now, feels like -19 with a 27K wind out of the northwest. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 92%. That wind may still continue to increase throughout the day today, and that's what kind of cuts through those layers this morning. That damp cold that we kind of like to say we don't experience here in Manitoba, or at least that's not our norm. We tend to have what we call the dry cold, the sunshine, and we can deal with those really cold temperatures because it's the dry cold. Well, that's not the case this morning. Not to mention the freezing rain from earlier on has made things incredibly slick. Even just my little path out here this morning, I'm slipping around a little bit, and you certainly will be out on the sidewalks or out on the streets today. So please give yourself plenty of extra time so that you can really slow down today, either as a pedestrian or a motorist or both. You have to get out of the car eventually. So it is going to be a very icy, slippery day today.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
It's time now for our question of the day. Sunday is International Women's Day, so we're asking, which woman do you want to celebrate, and tell us why? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provincial, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break now. We'll be right back. Good morning. A Winnipeg supervised drug consumption site may open in a matter of weeks. The province has been eyeing 366 Henry Avenue, located west of Main Street, for the site. The location is several blocks away from the government's initial pick, which was scrapped after concerns were raised over its proximity to a school and daycare. Now, the province says a temporary site may open in as little as a few weeks because the permanent one is not quite ready yet.
Manitobans have told us that one needs to be set up as quick as possible. We have businesses that have been telling us that their bathrooms are being used as, an unsupervised consumption site. We see this all over the streets that people are using unsupervised, and we have a responsibility as a government to support people to get onto a path of recovery.
Minister Smith says the province is fast-tracking the opening through a class exemption in the regulation. She says the exemption allows for an overdose prevention site to be set up on a temporary basis due to urgent needs in the community. The minister added the province has been in consultation with the federal government. Costco is recalling a chocolate mousse product due to the presence of nuts which are not declared on the label. The recall for Delisi Dubai-style chocolate mousse was issued because the affected products may contain cashew or macadamia nuts. Those allergens may cause severe, potentially life-threatening allergic reactions in people with nut allergies. Customers who bought the affected products between January and February of this year are told they can return them to Costco for a full refund. The opening ceremony of the Winter Paralympics is happening in Italy today. The Paralympic flame reached the Veneto region last night ahead of the start of the games. The opening ceremony will take place in Verona, and because of its distance away, Canadian athletes will not be taking part. Instead, they will be celebrating in their respective villages. Canada will be represented by 50 athletes at the Milano Cortina 2026 Paralympics. A Vancouver artist had a hand in creating this year's World Cup poster. Carson Ting was one of 3 artists chosen to design the official FIFA World Cup poster. He collaborated with artists from the U.S. and Mexico to create a visual that could represent unity and celebration. Here's a look at what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. Looks like things are moving well here. Starting off, if you see any issues out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Winnipeggers will soon be able to experience some of Scandinavia's most celebrated hits. Nordic Horizons is coming to the Centennial Concert Hall this weekend. The WSO program will showcase orchestral works from prominent Scandinavian composers. Included in the lineup is lively folk music, a patriotic hit, and a dramatic symphony written during the First World War. Tickets are available at the WSO box office. The Winnipeg Folk Festival is fulfilling a goal with one of this year's headliners.
I've been grinning through Easter like an ordinary
Folkfest's artistic director says Icelandic indie band of Monsters and Men has long been on its desire list, and this year they'll be one of the top headliners. They're not the only festival first-timers. Father John Misty will make his festival debut, as will Lucy Dacus, who also plays in Boy Genius, and political songwriter Jesse Wells. The 51st Winnipeg Folk Festival runs July the 9th to the 12th in Birds Hill Park. You can find a full list of the 70 artists appearing this year and buy tickets on the Folkfest website. And Ryan Reynolds is ready to tuck you in with a good book.
You know the best part about stories? You remember them.
It's called Bedtime Stories with Ryan, where Reynolds reads new and classic bedtime stories for children to watch. Naturally, the tales magically come to life around him, and the episodes are aimed at quieting children's minds before bed. The series started airing this week on Nick Jr. Your Friday primetime lineup starts with Happy's Place and Stumble at 7. A pop culture quiz, Battle of the Generations, is on at 8, and Boston Blue comes next at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. If you're dreaming of an unforgettable adventure, you can indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Explore vibrant markets and serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. All right, Terry, the weekend is here and things are about to warm up.
You're right. A big warm up for the weekend. Yep. Today will still be a little bit cool. There's a dampness to the air right now, and that's what has that chill that seems to cut through all of those layers. We're looking right now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. You can just see on the sidewalks that you can see the skating rink that is like kind of settled in from that freezing rain last night, and so as a result things are very, very slippery, not just on the sidewalks, on the streets as well. I've been saying give yourself plenty of extra time this morning because you're certainly going to need it, either as a motorist or the pedestrians that'll be doing a little bit of that penguin shuffle, because that's your best chance of staying upright today. I'm not kidding when I say it's incredibly slick. Now the temperatures themselves slightly above seasonal. -13 would be a normal low, and many of us are just a degree or 2 or 3 above what is normal for this time of year, and that goes right through central Manitoba. Moving up into northern Manitoba, above what you would expect, mid-minus teens as your low temperatures up north. That's a great big difference from where you were earlier on in the week when you were waking up in the mid to high -30s, wind chill values in the -40s, at times even -50s. So all of those extreme cold warnings lifted yesterday, but today things will be even milder yet. All across the province, though, we're going to deal with some slightly below seasonal temperatures here in the south and that bit of a breeze, but the heavier clouds, that'll be across the entire province, and the precipitation, or at least the threat of it, will be there as well. We had some freezing rain earlier this morning. I talked about how slick it is out on the streets. That has tapered off, but the surface is still very, very icy. And the temperatures as they rise today will likely remain slightly below seasonal to a high of about -6 here in Winnipeg today. -3 would be normal for this time of year. We won't get there today, but we will surpass it tomorrow. Still looking to be very mild for the weekend, above the freezing mark, but the possibility of some precipitation likely then in liquid form. A couple of bald eagles. What an incredible shot that Gerald captured out in the Lockport area. Thank you for sharing this, and keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Terry, loneliness is a problem some seniors grapple with later in life. Now, a new animal rescue program is aiming to change that. As CTV's Danton Unger shows you, an animal rescue is helping connect cats with seniors.
Good kid.
Meet Rocket. She's what Whisker Warriors Manitoba calls a comfort cat.
Good kid.
It's all part of a new program the foster-based rescue has launched called Silver Whiskers, pairing cats needing a quiet home with seniors for as long as they need.
It gives seniors a chance to have a companion, whether, it's for, 6 months or 6 years.
Rescue co-founder Dana Shaw says the program can remove financial barriers for seniors who can't afford a pet, as Whisker Warriors covers all the costs involved, like food, litter, and vet bills.
The only thing the senior has to do is provide the cat with a loving home.
Those pets become part of the family.
Dr. Corey McKenzie, a clinical psychology professor at the U of M, says companion animals can have an impact on mental health in later years of life, and while he notes much much of the research focuses on dogs, he says caring for an animal can reduce depression and anxiety.
There's something about caring for something, tending to something that relies on us, that, you know, can provide that meaning, that purpose, that can really be can make a big difference for people in their lives.
Shaw says there are already several cat candidates in the program right now, cats that may otherwise have a tough time finding a forever home.
They could sit in rescue for a year or 2 years waiting because they're not going to be an easy adoption, because, you know, a lot of people have other animals, they have children, they have a busy home. So yeah, we thought this was a win-win.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
If you or someone you know is interested in finding out more, you can check out the Whisker Warriors Manitoba website. Well, it's time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with Belinda. This 2-year-old lady is such a calm girl. She's curious, loves to be outside, and will make an incredible adventure buddy. Next up is Dude, a young cat with a heart full of curiosity and friendliness. Dude loves exploring his surroundings and is always eager to learn more about the world around him. And meet Seamus. He's a 4-year-old charming pup with expressive eyes, a waggy tail, and contagious happy wiggles. He's playful, affectionate, and confident, and loves meeting new people and pups. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number's there on your screen. Coming up, we are celebrating women for International Women's Day, which is on Sunday. Stay with us for more. Sunday is International Women's Day, and Ainsley McPhail is live at the U of M telling us about incredible women there. Good morning.
Rochelle, good morning. It's almost intimidating being surrounded by such prominent academic women. I am joined now by Marcia Friesen, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and the first female to have that title. Thank you so much for being here today. We're seeing more and more women get into math, science, engineering, all of that jazz. What can you tell us about the current climate of it all?
I think the current climate is very positive. I mean, the roads to engineering are varied. So the stereotype is if you took apart toasters and lamps as a kid, then you were meant to be an engineer. But, you know, girls and boys, youth, male and female, are interested in a number of things that logically lead to engineering. So it could be through artistic endeavors, it could be through building things, it could be through music that engages some of the same skills and aptitudes. And so we see women coming for all kinds of motivations, but essentially recognizing that engineering is an interesting career. It's a very intellectually rewarding career, and it's very fulfilling to be able to go out and see the things that you've personally had a hand in doing, in building and designing. So,
and I guess that starts quite young with the little ones, the young girls watching. For them, what would you say? What more can be done?
Well, we have a really fantastic program here that engages youth in STEM from kindergarten through grade 12. And that's not just girls, but that's youth of all kinds. And we're focusing a lot on demographics that might not have a lot of role models in STEM and a lot of opportunities. But basically there we're saying, you know, if you want to have like a robot fight club, or if you want to learn how to code, this is absolutely for you. So really just trying to reinforce that some of the older stereotypes that girls aren't interested in engineering is really false, because as I said, it's an interesting career and there are very many ways to get to it. There's very many ways to be an engineer. And if you're at all creative and enjoy solving puzzles and enjoy making art and building things and designing things, there's a place for you in the profession.
And you know what? Let's apply that to every stereotype about women. We might like it. Hey!
Thank you, Ainsley. All right, bringing in Terry now. And I just texted my kids, Terry, be careful out there. It's really slippery.
Yeah, everybody needs to hear that warning this morning, preferably before you head out and have to find out for yourself, because you'll probably need a little bit of extra time. So if you don't get that warning in advance, you'll be out there with your usual time trying to rush in these conditions, and that will not be ideal. But yes, it is going to be perhaps dangerously slippery for a lot of folks today. So just please take that little bit of advice And stick it in the back of your brain and know that you will need to slow down and give yourself extra time. Today it's -10, feels like -19 with a 27 wind out of the northwest. The pressure rising, the humidity at 92%. It's not just the streets, it's all surfaces, sidewalks as well. Very, very icy from that freezing rain that fell last night. Was still falling this morning. That has tapered off now in the Winnipeg area, but we are still seeing some of that precipitation in other places around the province. Like here in the southwest, this snow that's moving from the southwest up through east central Manitoba, and some of that freezing rain in areas off to the east of us. But just because it doesn't show up on the satellite image doesn't mean you're not going to be in for some of that or aren't currently experiencing it. We were seeing that freezing rain out there, but nothing was showing up on the satellite image because it was on the lighter side and not significant enough to make an appearance on the satellite image. But it certainly had an impact out on the streets and the sidewalks, as I said. So -6 today, slightly below seasonal. -3 is a normal low. -13, -3 a normal high, -13 a normal low. So even tonight, still slightly above normal, but a lot more so tomorrow when we're pushing above the freezing mark. Still will deal with some stronger winds both tomorrow or today and tomorrow. Those plus digits to last through the weekend, and then we're settling back to those more seasonal temperatures as we look ahead to next week.
March 6, 1930. The first pre-packaged frozen food produced by the company set up by Clarence Birdseye went on sale in Springfield, Massachusetts. Birdseye pioneered his fast freezing techniques based on methods he had observed while living in Labrador. March 6, 1997. Queen Elizabeth launched the official royal website. After logging onto the site at a London high school, she exchanged emails with students at a public school in the Northern Ontario community of Nakina. March 6, 2023. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau asked 2 key security watchdogs to probe foreign interference and said he would appoint a special rapporteur to independently review their work. The primary focus was on whether and to what extent foreign entities had interfered in Canadian elections. One person was taken to hospital after a vehicle crashed into a building in St. Boniface yesterday morning. A red SUV with a crumpled front end appears to have collided with the Pet Value on Marion Street. The front of the building also received some significant damage. A police spokesperson says an adult was taken to hospital in critical condition. They were unable to say whether that person was in the vehicle, store, or parking lot at the time of the crash. Investigators are now trying to piece together what happened. Canada's top soldier says our troops may be needed to help defend countries under attack by Iran.
There might be a requirement from the Gulf states to add to their defense. So this is the conversation that we need to have.
Chief of Defense Staff General Jenny Carignan says Canada is not taking part in Operation Epic Fury. That's the name of joint U.S.-Israeli operation against Iran. Later today, General Carignan will speak with European allies. After those talks, recommendations will be presented to government. It was on Wednesday that Prime Minister Mark Carney said he refused to categorically rule out Canadian military involvement in the war. Many Canadians are now home, arriving on one of the first flights out of the Middle East since the war in Iran grounded planes across the region.
You hear some missiles here and there, boom, 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 but you don't know what's happening.
It was scary for me to see, like a bunch of missiles getting intercepted.
These passengers landed at Pearson Airport yesterday on a flight from Abu Dhabi. Their arrival comes after days of travel disruptions in the Gulf region. Airspace has been closed across much of the Middle East and flights were canceled. Many of these travelers say they were left scrambling to find a way home. They say they secured seats on this flight largely on their own, despite the federal government saying it's working to secure evacuation flights home. Apple is out with a new budget-friendly MacBook. It's called the MacBook Neo, and it will be available for purchase next week. The cost is much less than its other MacBooks, retailing for about $800. Apple claims the new laptop is good for the everyday, able to run your apps, courses, and games. However, critics are now slowly releasing their thoughts on the new affordable model, and some say the available RAM could be a problem in the long term, but most agree it has a number of great features for the price. An unusual discovery was made off the Shetland coast. A large group of porpoises was spotted. They usually travel in groups of less than 5, but they've now been seen in a pod of up to 100. researchers are still looking into why they are traveling in such a big group. Here's some road closures to remind you about this morning. The westbound curb lane on Logan Avenue will be closed from Blake to McKelvey Street. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Roslyn Road will be closed between Bryce and Osborne Street. And all westbound and eastbound lanes on St. Matthews Avenue will be closed from Sherbourne to Lipton Street. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is continuing to rise. Right now it's at $1.46. The provincial average is also rising, $1.40. In Winnipeg, it's higher. The average is $1.42, and the lowest price in the city is $1.36. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy first birthday, Poppy, with love from great Auntie Len. Happy 6th birthday, Sawyer, love Grandma and Grandpa. Happy 11th birthday, Carter, love from all your family. Happy 25th birthday, Jamal, with love from your family. Happy 61st birthday, Farouk, with love from your family. Happy 19th birthday, Sierra, love Mom, Dad, and Sav. Happy 26th birthday, Emily, with love from your grandparents. And a happy 71st birthday to Virginia, with lots of love from your husband. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
There's a look outside. Those heavy clouds hanging over the city, that's what brought the freezing rain that you're going to notice on your drive or on your walk. It is very slippery out there this morning. Bit of a breeze as well out of the northwest, 27 kilometers per hour, making it feel like minus 19. So certainly a chill to the air this morning. With the pressure rising, the humidity is sitting at 92%. And that damp cold, the one that kind of cuts through those layers. So it does certainly feel quite chilly out there, and that wind will only increase today. What we're seeing on the satellite images, heavy clouds pretty much across the province. You can see there's slightly less cloud in parts of the northwest or east or west central Manitoba. That's where you might enjoy a little bit of sunshine today, but many other places will deal with the clouds and that threat of precipitation as well. However, very mild temperatures across northern Manitoba, for many of you above seasonal, right up into the Churchill area where you've been dealing with the extremes for the early part of the week. They were lifted yesterday, but now the warm-up continues, and very mild and above seasonal temperatures are expected through much of the north. Along that western border, your best chance of seeing a little bit of sunshine today through parts of west central Manitoba as well. These values that you're seeing here are pretty much normal for this time of year, -3 being that seasonal daytime high. So pretty much hitting the mark. We'll be maybe just a little bit shy of it by a few degrees here in the southeast, where it'll be a little bit cooler and a little bit cloudier as well. We were seeing some of that precipitation earlier this morning. Some places still may, and then we could be in for more precipitation looking ahead to the coming weekend, but likely in more liquid form as opposed to the freezing rain that we experienced this morning that's made things so very slick out on the streets and sidewalks. There you can see the plus digits could come with some showers both Saturday and Sunday. And then for next week, we're going to notice those temperatures settling just a little bit closer to what you would expect for this time of year.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live at the University of Manitoba this morning, talking about International Women's Day, which is on Sunday. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. We're talking about women in sport in this segment. Tina Chen is joining us now. Professor, the Olympics just happened. How wonderful was it to see so many prominent Canadian women doing their thing? And we have some great numbers as well.
Yeah, I mean, this Olympics was considered a historic one, so 47% of athletes were women, so the highest number so far. And so everyone saw this as a moment of real celebration and kind of thinking about how do we break down barriers for women's participation in sport.
How does this translate locally?
Well, I think here, you know, in many ways. So here at the university as the Vice Provost Equity, really this is what I'm thinking about. What are the barriers that people have for education, to be involved in sport? And so really always thinking about, well, what barriers exist? How do we, like, bring those down? How do we bring more people in? But I think we also have to always ask that next question. So once they're here, what's their experience like? And so then we really need to think about how are we addressing the types of experience, whether it's patriarchy, different kinds of, you know, ways in which people feel excluded and don't fully belong.
Okay, we're in the room now. Let's make the room comfortable. Okay, I love that. Speaking of that, and on that note, we talked about the good, but there were some disheartening things that many people saw watching the Olympics. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think the key thing when we think about gender equity and gender parity in sport is we always want to think about the conditions through which people come to participate. So we see things like pay inequities. We see things about how people are supported, the difference between professional athletes who have huge salaries and this is just part of their world, and those who are really on a pay-to-play. We heard this from the bobsled team in very clear ways about the way that structures our lives. We also have to think about how we define women. So the movements now to exclude trans women, which really is based in kind of a biological essentialism assumptions about male superiority, which are really problematic. And I think we need to think about, so how are we addressing the real issues in society around how do we think about gender, how do we think about inclusion, how do we really think about real parity? And then we bring those into our sense of like, when you're here, how do we create the conditions where everyone can thrive? And how do we actually address some of those ways in which people don't see women as equal?
Oh my goodness. Now say it in a minute or less. I love that. Okay, International Women's Day is happening on March 8th. I'm going to be hosting a panel discussion at the Pinnacle Room at Princess Auto Stadium.
Thank you, Ainsley. In a meeting with BC Premier David Eby, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has agreed to apologize to the community of Tumbler Ridge following a mass shooting last month that killed 9 people and injured at least 25 others. OpenAI previously confirmed a ChatGPT account connected to the shooter was banned last year and that the company considered notifying police about concerning interactions that violated its policies, but ultimately chose not to do so. Joining us now with more is CTV's Kamil Karamali. Good morning, Kamil.
Good morning, Rochelle. Good to see you.
You too. Now, in a call with Premier David Eby yesterday, OpenAI says it agreed to apologize to the Tumbler Ridge community following last month's horrific mass shooting. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so David Eby, the BC Premier, described the conference call as tough. He said what OpenAI has committed to is nowhere near sufficient, but it is very necessary. OpenAI has also said in a statement, right now it's looking for the best way to convey the apology, calling what happened in the small northern BC community as an unspeakable tragedy. Now, you touched on it, Rochelle, but the reason this all came together is because the mass shooter, Jesse Van Rutselaar, was banned from ChatGPT back in June of 2025. What ended up happening was 8 people were killed in the mass shooting incident, 6 at the local school and 2 of Van Rutselaar's family members. And Van Rutselaar was banned from ChatGPT back in June of last year for violent behavior on the platform. The company said it had considered notifying the police about the concerning interactions that violated its policies, but in the end it chose not to. Have a listen to a bit of what the BC Premier had to say.
I had 2 specific requests of Mr. Altman and of OpenAI. The first was for an apology to the community, the parents, people affected. And the second was that OpenAI join us in a call to the federal government for a duty to report a minimum threshold across the country for all AI companies to try to find something positive out of the wreckage of this tragedy that ideally we could prevent it from happening again.
And it looks like Ottawa and BC is taking that duty to report that you just heard of very seriously, as what OpenAI has said it will take several actions to bolster that safety, including putting forward a report that would outline new systems it's developing to find and track and highlight high-risk offenders, Rochelle.
Okay, well, thank you, Kamil. CTV's Kamil Karamali reporting live. Taking a look outside right now, it's -10. It's cloudy, and we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
So we're not going to be far off of what is normal for this time of year, with -4 being that seasonal high. -5 is where we're headed today. -1 is where we got to last year. It was all the way back in 2000, though, that we were setting records, and that won't be the case for us today. My goodness, it is going to be a little bit cool. 13 degrees was set in 2000. We might hit plus digits for the weekend, but we're not going to be anywhere near record-breaking temperatures for the weekend itself. Just a few degrees above the freezing mark. But today we're going to be a few 2 degrees below what is normal for this time of year. -10 is where we're sitting right now. -19 is what it feels like. You will notice that breeze already this morning at 27 kilometers per hour out of the northwest. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 92%. Now, that breeze will increase today. The clouds, they're going to be sticking around. The ice that's on the surfaces this morning from the freezing rain earlier on has left things very, very slick. And there's a real crunch to what we're experiencing out here as well. There's a noticeable audible sound when you're stepping around outside this morning, but it is very, very icy, so please use caution. Now, the heavier clouds through most of the province. Along the western border, you might see a few more breaks in those clouds, letting some sunshine through. And northern Manitoba will likely experience above seasonal temperatures. Through the southwest, pretty much bang on what is normal for this time of year. Here in the southeast, just a few degrees cooler for today, but the warm-up comes tomorrow when we're back up above the freezing mark for a couple of days throughout the weekend, but more precipitation will be coming, likely in liquid form.
Anyone who grew up in the 80s or got married in that era would recognize this song. The song Together was launched 50 years ago, and Winnipeg-based singer Joey Gregorish is celebrating the anniversary of the song with a special show. Joining us now is singer-songwriter Joey Gregorish. Good morning, Joey.
Good morning.
Welcome,
Bonjour,
welcome.
bonjour.
Bonjour.
Quick shout out to Claudette for getting me here. Merci.
Yeah, because the streets are really slick out there.
Yeah, it's bad driving.
Let's take us back to the beginning of this song, Together.
You know, I'm editing as we go along. This is an amazing song. I first actually wrote it, the melody, in 1968, but it was another song. It was Together. Okay. I'm sorry, Tomorrow, okay, which was released on Polydor Records, my first ever hit. Now, in 1975, there was a bride that was very fussy, and my bandmate Brian McMillan and I were trying to make her happy picking a song for her wedding. She chose To Love Somebody by the Bee Gees, and then she was stuck. And then I went through every song I possibly knew. No, I don't like, no. And I went, okay, you're not going to be happy until we write a song for you. On this day, remembering that melody from my first ever song that I wrote. And she went, oh, I like that. What's that song? I said, it isn't a song. And she goes, can you write it? So Brian and I sat down, we wrote the lyrics for Together using, you know, what they would normally on this day, you know, we all come together and celebrate. So we wrote the lyrics in 25 minutes. Wow. In 1975, we sang it I sang it in church, okay, for the wedding. Yeah. And after, people would come up to me and they'd say, we really like that song you sang. And I said, oh, that's To Love Somebody by the Bee Gees. No, that other one. And I went, you mean Together? And they said, yeah, where's that available? I said, it's not available. We just wrote it. So that's the beginning of the song.
What a story.
It is so lengthy. We don't have time, even in this, you know, segment, to tell you what this song achieved. Now, flash forward to 1983. I'm working at CHMM, Chamam Radio in the morning. And Peter Grant and John Cochran come down and say, look, would you like to go back in the studio and do a project for the Children's Hospital? And I went, sure, yeah. Here we go again. We picked one of the songs called Love Will Bring It Together. It was an original song, it was reggae. Yeah. And we couldn't find another song. Here we go again. I went, you know, I played this in church. And Craig Fotheringham, who's very laid back, man, that's a hit.
Really?
We recorded it. That wasn't the A side, right? But we sold every copy of Love Will Bring It Together for the Children's Hospital, raised money for them. One morning, George McCloy on CGOB radio goes, well, it's the wedding season, and our morning man downstairs, we keep him in a cave. He said, well, let's see what this sounds like. He played it. That began a chain reaction that is unbelievable. And that was in 1983. Okay, so now people are calling for, can we get that song? So we pressed more copies. That happened for 3 more years in Winnipeg, where people were, we had to press more copies.
Wow.
Finally, a fellow by the name of Sandy Davis took the song to Toronto to Attic Records.
Yeah.
Attic Records went, okay, well, it's a novelty song. That's what they said. They released it, and in 6 months, it was gold.
Oh, wow.
And in 1987, it was one of only 4 gold records awarded that year.
So we are almost out of time.
Yeah.
You are celebrating this song with a special show. Tell us about the show quickly and where it's at.
Yeah, it's off the cuff, 1755 Portage Avenue, St. James Legion on March the 14th. Tickets at 3 Common.
Okay.
Come and join the celebration. Great place to have an unplugged show. That's my new project.
Well, thank you for sharing the history of this, Joey. I never knew this history. Now I know.
Well, thank you very much.
And
Thanks
good luck
for
with the
sharing.
show.
And you look marvelous.
Thank you.
Hello there, Kara Wagland inside the Sports Center newsroom with your musty moment from Thursday. And for it, we head to Minnesota, where the Raptors were in town. Anthony Edwards blows past Jamal Shedd, goes up and over R.J. Barrett for a massive dunk, putting the Canadian on a poster. This is an unbelievable dunk and a huge stare down afterwards. He's letting Barrett know what he just did. Ant-Man has your musty moment from Thursday. And today on TSN, the trade deadline finally here. Who will be on the move? Trade Center's coverage gets underway at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Friday, March the 6th. Today, downtown revamp. Mayor Gillingham reveals new 7-Eleven stores and a $48 million housing project. Plus, crop trends, how lower costs are driving a spike in soybean planting across the province. And Jets trade shock. Winnipeg Jets win big over Tampa and makes its first move ahead of the NHL deadline. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Friday is here. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 8:15, we're going to get an update from the Winnipeg Folk Fest because they just announced their lineup and it's going to be huge this year. So we're going to get some details on that. And then at 8:45, the Ukrainian Easter Market is amazing. First of all, so many great items that you could purchase. Homemade food, traditional food, but also some really cool handmade items that you could purchase as well. And the Easter market is, it's one of their biggest celebrations.
For the Pascha alone.
Oh yeah, they go big. So we're gonna have a sneak peek for you at 8:45. Stay tuned for that. But the weather, it is slippery out there. Put your spikes on your boots.
Ooh, good idea. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever kind of traction you can get on you underneath your feet, underneath your tires. Honestly, the ice from last night, the freezing rain this morning continued, and so things are incredibly slick out there this morning. Just a whole layer of ice right across the sea, probably many places around the province experiencing the same. You can see the heavier clouds hanging over Winnipeg right now. Temperature sits at -10. That's slightly above seasonal, but it feels like -19. The winds will be strong and noticeable today. Right now, 27 kilometers per hour out of the northwest. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 92%. Those slick conditions, they will be pretty treacherous. So give yourself plenty of extra time for your commute in, either as a pedestrian or a motorist, and know that that will probably last throughout the day today. The temperatures, they'll be warming up somewhat, but not likely enough to make it really slushy. So right now it's just incredibly icy and dangerously so. You can see some precipitation moving on the satellite image from the southwest through more central Manitoba, and then all of the freezing rain in areas off to the east of us. But that's all that's showing on the satellite image. We had that rain coming down earlier this morning and it wasn't even registering on the satellite image. So don't be fooled even in places that you're not seeing that activity. Across the province, many places will likely deal with some precipitation. There will also be some sunshine, more so though, through central Manitoba. And then for the weekend, a great big warm-up that could bring rain. Yes, liquid rain plus digits on tap for us both Saturday and Sunday before we're settling back to those more seasonal temperatures looking ahead to next week. And our art today is all thanks to 11-year-old Mila. Beautiful spring-like picture, and we'd love to see more of your art. There's a new way to submit it. You now head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form there. Your art can be shown here on the show, but you'll also be entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle at the Keniston location.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
It appears Mayor Scott Gillingham is already gearing up for the fall election. He delivered his last State of the City address yesterday with two big announcements, new 7-Eleven stores and a $48 million downtown housing project.
I think it's important. You know, a year ago, 2 years ago, some 7-Eleven stores closed, and a lot of people were, saying, "Oh, this is, the sky is falling." Look, we're really excited.
After several 7-Eleven closures, Gillingham says new locations are coming. In 2024, 2 city councillors warned 7 stores were at risk due to retail theft, and some have shuttered. It's still unclear how many will open, but safety remains a priority. Another announcement, the vacant Marlborough Hotel downtown will be transformed into 307 apartments. City Council will be asked for $5 million from the Housing Accelerator Fund to help fund the $48 million project. And retail and restaurants could open on the ground floor.
It was a very bullish presentation by the mayor, almost like a pre-election speech.
This was Gillingham's final State of the City speech before the fall election, and he's already in campaign mode. He suggested the months ahead will feature 2 narratives, one claiming nothing is working, and the other his vision for a sky economy. The mayor says federal defense investments are an opportunity to grow Winnipeg's aviation, aerospace, and defense sectors. Seeding season is right around the corner, and Manitoba farmers are expected to lean heavily into soybeans this year. That's according to Statistics Canada's latest crop outlook report. It says Manitoba is expected to lead the national increase in soybean acreage, rising by nearly 13% from last year to 1.9 million acres. If that happens, StatsCan says it would be the most soybeans planted in Manitoba since 2018, possibly due to lower input costs relative to other crops. Seeded canola acres are also expected to increase modestly, while farmers are anticipating planting less wheat, barley, and corn. The Winnipeg Jets picked up a 4-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning last night, but with the NHL trade deadline hours away, attention is also turning to possible roster moves.
Good work by Tanner Pearson. Here's Nyquist.
Mark Scheifele led the way with a goal and an assist. Morgan Barron and Gustav Nyquist also scored before Kyle Connor added an empty netter late in the third. In the net, Connor Hellebuck made 26 saves. The win also marks Winnipeg's 5th straight home victory against Tampa Bay, and today is the NHL trade deadline. With the first trade move already complete, Winnipeg has dealt defenseman Luke Shen and Logan Stanley to the Buffalo Sabres. Teams have until 2 p.m. today to complete deals. Here's a look now at what's going on St. Mary's Road. It looks like things are moving slowly, but well in this part of the city. If you see any issues out there, please give us a heads up.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
We are celebrating women for International Women's Day, which is happening on Sunday, and the University of Manitoba has a lot of trailblazers. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Yes, we were talking about women in STEM earlier, and I mean, if you look behind me, there's lots of prominent women as well. But what about the future? And Wise Kinetic Energy applies all of those skills early on. Suzanne Winterfleck joins us, and she's going to tell us about that program. You have something coming up, though, for International Women's Day.
Yes, tomorrow, in fact, we hold our annual Make Your Move event, which brings grade 8 girls into the university, and they're supported by companies throughout Winnipeg, and each team, they take on a design test challenge, and each team is supported by a female engineer. So it's very exciting, and it's always a success, and tomorrow will be completely vibrant.
Well, it is fun, and that's the whole idea, right? You want to get women involved in technology, math, science, but do it in a way that's innovative.
Yeah, and safe. For girls, it's very important. They're so underrepresented in the STEM fields. So for girls to be able to come into a space, feel safe, and to have fun, and to realise that, you know, other people, other women are doing this and have doing this now and have done it in the past, and they see positive role models. And we use undergraduate students from the University of Manitoba to actually, we train them to deliver the workshops. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so important because they're not all girls, but a lot are girls. So girls see girls, and they see them in their own image.
Before we wrap up the segment, I want to ask you about the transferable skills. So when you take math and science, what else can it lead to?
Well, there's so many things that in careers that people can do, and girls love the sort of corporate social responsibility type of environments. So as environmental sciences, the other one is bioscience. They enjoy anything that's got a sort of a conscience to it, you know, so that they can really serve and give back through their professions.
Empathetic scientists. That's what I'll call that. Thank you so much. Beautiful. We appreciate this. Coming up at 8:38, we've got another conversation previewing International Women's Day.
Thank you, Ainsley. Waitlists for specialists can stretch for months across Canada, but a team of doctors in Nova Scotia says a simple digital tool is helping speed things up. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth shows us what it is and how it works.
Dr. Luke Napier has been a psychiatrist for more than 3 decades.
I focus on veterans care, so it's really my honor working with veterans.
Napier and 2 of his colleagues spent years developing strategies to speed up medical referrals and minimize wait times.
We tried to come up with a way to more efficiently support primary care providers that are seeing patients.
Virtual Hallway is designed to fast-track the process for patients to see a specialist.
And is she still having some symptoms of depression at this point?
Family doctors and nurse practitioners have on-call access to medical specialists by using the secure and private links on this website.
So the primary care side can go into virtualhallway.ca and select the particular person they'd like to receive a call from, and then they receive a call at that defined time.
An efficient system, Napier says, has helped shorten referral wait times from 6 to 12 months down to weeks, days, and sometimes hours. When Virtual Hallway was launched in Nova Scotia almost 5 years ago, it only served psychiatry. It now covers 50 specialty areas in 6 provinces.
Up until now, there have not been that many services kind of to fill this in-between area where you have a question that you need answered sometime soon so that the patient can get treatment for their condition.
Leslie Fleming was bracing for a delayed referral for her daughter. Fleming's family doctor used Virtual Hallway, and a treatment plan was determined within 48 hours.
And that's really just such a relief as a parent, where when you're left waiting, you just feel sick because you want to help your child as much as you can.
Dr. Luke Napier hopes Virtual Hallway will soon be available in all Canadian provinces and territories. He sees it as a way for doctors to connect, optimize, and improve patient care. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
All right, it's a very icy start to your morning as we look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Honestly, those surfaces this morning are some of the slickest that I've seen. There's just a layer of ice both on the streets and the sidewalks, any surfaces really, patios, railings, you name it. So just please use some extra caution and give yourself that extra time so that you don't have to be rushing outside right now, because rushing would be very dangerous with these slick conditions. Minus 10. We really haven't budged all morning long, but that is slightly above seasonal. Minus 13 being that normal low for much of southern Manitoba. And you can see everybody is slightly above that. Right up into northern Manitoba, in fact, the temperatures are fairly mild, above normal into the north compared to the extremes from earlier this week when you had those cold warnings in place all across northern Manitoba. Well, they lifted yesterday, but today it's going to be even milder yet. Now, there is a breeze it'll likely increase. Right now, it's having an additional bite, making it feel in the high minus teens here throughout the south. It's almost up to 30 clicks, but it could at times get even heavier. Up to 50k wind gusts are possible for us today. The freezing rain has picked up again. It had tapered off, but now out at the airport, registering with the freezing rain again, even though it's not showing up on the satellite image. And this is what I've been saying. There are some places where the precipitation is heavy enough to be visible here on the satellite image, either the flurries or the lighter green colors. That's more freezing rain or showers. But just because it's not registering doesn't mean it's not happening. So know that it could be off and on throughout the day today with the heavier clouds and the slightly below seasonal temperatures, at least here in the southeast. -6 is where we'll top out today. -3 is actually normal for this time of year. So we may not get there today, but we'll surpass it this weekend with more precipitation likely in liquid form both Saturday and Sunday. Very mild before we're back to those seasonal temperatures for next week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Oil prices are rallying again after appearing to flatten on comments from the U.S. Energy Secretary that the war in Iran could end in a few weeks. They started to climb again on an interview by Qatar's energy minister, who said the war could halt production, which could send oil to $150 a barrel, something we haven't seen since the 2008 meltdown. Just hours after landing in Tokyo, Prime Minister Mark Carney and Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae signed a new comprehensive strategic partnership looking to deepen ties across defense, energy, and technology. We do much, but we're ready to do much more, Carney said in remarks after the signing. And Pakistan is voicing concerns over the uranium supply agreement Canada signed with India last week, according to Geo News. The Pakistani Foreign Office warning that assured external uranium supplies could allow India to divert its domestic uranium reserves for military purposes, potentially increasing its production of fissile material and accelerating the expansion of its nuclear arsenal. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The Winnipeg Folk Festival is unveiling its artist lineup for this summer's event, and it promises to be another year of amazing international talent. And joining us now from the Winnipeg Folk Festival is Artistic Director Chris Frere. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
How exciting, your lineup.
Yes.
It's going to be a great show.
Yeah, it's going to be. This is so we came off of our 50th last year, which we sold out our 50th festival, but this is kind of turning the page, and we're looking forward to doing like we're looking at the next, setting the course for the next 50 years.
Okay.
So with the 51st edition, I looked at just trying to get refresh talent, get bands to the festival that haven't played before, even more importantly, bands that haven't played Winnipeg before. So a lot of our headlining acts or established acts haven't played the market before, with the exception of one of them. But Monsters and Men are making their first appearance at the festival here in Winnipeg, just on the heels of the 150th anniversary of the Icelandic settlement in Manitoba.
That is incredible.
And they're probably the biggest band to come out of Iceland since Bjork,
right.
The Sugar Cubes and stuff like that.
This is a band that you were really hoping to get for a long time, right?
For years and years we've been trying to get them, so super excited about getting them. Father John Misty, who I love, is a great songwriter from Los Angeles. He's coming. He hasn't played Winnipeg in years, hasn't played the festival before. Okay. And then a couple acts that I saw when I was at the Newport Folk Festival last summer with my wife was Jesse Wells, who's like blown up on TikTok because of his socio-political protest songs that he's been writing.
Okay.
And of course he's got ample things to sing about right now in the United States, right? So him, and then Stephen Wilson Jr., who's becoming very big, very fast, plays his music, he calls it Death Cab for Country, which is a reference to his love of the band Death Cab for Cutie, and his love for country music. And so I saw him when I was at Newport and kind of fell in love with it, and so we hired him for the festival. And yeah, so we're just looking forward to, Lucy Dacus, we've had two of the members of supergroup Boy Genius, who are no longer around.
Okay.
We've had Phoebe Bridgers and Julian Baker from that group at the festival in 2018, and now we've got Lucy. So we've basically got the group together in 3 different parts. But Lucy's amazing. She she hasn't played Winnipeg before as well, so we're looking forward to having her. And she just headlined the All Things Go Music Festival last summer, which is an pretty much all female lineup featuring Casey Musgraves and Clario, Dochi, and all these other amazing female performers. So she's on a bit of a roll right now, so we're really happy to have her.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so you're very excited about what's to come this summer. Let's talk about some of the other cool things that are happening this summer that might be a little bit different.
Well, I mean, we've got we're doing Neil Young turned 80 in last year, I think in like November or something. So they did a big show at Massey Hall in Toronto, and it was a friend of mine was the band leader, and he orchestrated the whole thing. And of course, it sold out, and it was wonderful. So we thought about why don't we do the Winnipeg Folk Festival version of that?
Okay.
So we're bringing that band from Toronto.
Cool. Okay.
And they're going to be we're going to do like about 100-minute tribute to Neil, going through all of his repertoire from the last 60 years, and it's going to have Manitoba musicians in it, musicians at the festival. And it'll be like a big workshop, right?
Yeah. So we're almost out of time already.
Yeah.
Don't wait to buy your tickets.
No.
Get them as soon as you can.
As soon as we announced the lineup last night, I went on our ticket selling, and tickets were just moving. So winnipegfolkfestival.ca, or you can go to Frontgate Ticketing, which is our ticketing company, to purchase tickets, especially get your camping tickets.
And of course, we do have a link on our website as well. Thanks, Chris.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, I pulled out the umbrella again because out at the airport, Environment Canada was registering some freezing rain. I'm seeing a few like kind of flakes or maybe sparkles in the air. I didn't need the umbrella, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's still going to be some places where that is coming down, and you're seeing those surfaces becoming even slicker yet. On top of how slick they already were. I've been warning you all morning long. The freezing rain from earlier this morning has made things like a skating rink out here. It's minus 10 right now, feels like minus 19 with a 23k wind out of the northwest. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 92%. So icy conditions from that freezing rain, cool winds on top of those slightly above seasonal temperatures for now, but we're not going to reach those seasonal values as we make the gains. Here in the southeast will remain a few degrees below seasonal, whereas southwestern Manitoba will likely reach what is normal for this time of year, around minus 3, as a high in Winnipeg would in fact be normal. And then northern Manitoba, coming off the extreme cold from earlier this week. Those warnings were lifted yesterday. Now you're in for an even bigger warm up, and it will be an above normal day all across the north. But across the entire province, heavier clouds for the most part. A few places along the western border might see a little more in the way of sunshine. But we're going to deal with the clouds and that precipitation falling. And then tomorrow, maybe a better chance of moments of sunshine, but still the precipitation. But because it's warming up even more, we could be seeing it in liquid form with plus digits on the way. A beautiful shot of these couple of bald eagles out in the Lockport area. Thanks to Gerald for the photo. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
As somebody that loves to travel, Hong Kong is definitely on my bucket list. Joining me today is Chrissy Van from the Hong Kong Tourism Board. Good morning, Chrissy.
Good morning. We're only going to make that bucket list feeling even stronger after this call.
Okay, because this is a trip that you've done yourself. Tell me a little bit about it, and maybe starting out with what the journey was like.
Yeah, the beauty is the flight there is really where the journey begins. I traveled on Cathay Pacific, world-class customer service, amazing dining, and yes, I use the word dining instead of airplane food because it's just elevated. You arrive nourished, you arrive rested, and that's a good thing because there's a lot of ground to hit once you get there. I stayed at the Park Lane Hotel in Hong Kong, right in the heart of Causeway Bay, so you're near shopping, you're here near beautiful parks, and whether you want a rooftop drink or to just really stroll around and get a feel of the city, it's right at the doorstep for you.
Oh my goodness, that sounds exciting. I mean, for me, I've seen a lot of pictures of it. The skyline is stunning. Talk a little bit about some of the outdoor spaces.
Well, that was the part that surprised me a lot because, yes, you associate it with that vibrant skyline, which is incredible at night, I must say. However, you can travel to places like the Peak Tram that was established in 1888. Head to the top of the tram and you start to understand how much green space there really is. I had the opportunity while I was there to head to Saikun, which is a fishing village, and from there you can take a boat to places like Sharp Island. We're talking idyllic beaches, turquoise water, and that was something that truthfully surprised me, was the access to nature.
Okay, now I'm sure the expectations would have been high when it comes to food. What was your experience?
I am a huge foodie and I loved the variety. So you could have a traditional food stall experience like a Dai Pai Dong. We're talking big fire along the walk, fresh eats right on the roadside, eating throughout the night markets, or have an elevated experience like a Michelin star restaurant like Wing with Chinese, Cantonese cuisine, or I will say, just a testament to what you can experience there, they're home to the #1 best bar in the world, Bar Leone. So whether you're looking for that really traditional experience or something a little bit more elevated, you're going to be eating your way through Hong Kong, which to me is a trip well spent.
No kidding. Oh my goodness. It just gets me excited thinking about it. What would you say is the best way to immerse yourself in the culture?
Try as many neighborhoods as you can. I had the opportunity to go to some traditional temples like Manmao Temple. It's dating back to the 1800s. You can feel the essence before you even travel up the doorstep. And then you can do something like the Avenue of Stars, which celebrates cultural icons like Bruce Lee, which is a super cool experience to have. And then I do recommend doing the Aqua Luna. It's a junk boat on the water, so you have a little mix of that cultural experience on top of just taking in that vibrant skyline that we chatted about.
Well, Chrissy, you said I would be even more enticed after this chat, and I most certainly am. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your time. And, of course, we're actually giving away a chance to win a trip to Hong Kong, so you'll be hearing more about that throughout the show here on Your Morning Winnipeg.
And as Terry mentioned, you can enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Explore vibrant markets and serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back.
A look outside, and it may seem a little gray and gloomy today. Heavy clouds hanging over the city. There was some fog earlier on. It's less foggy now, but that freezing rain has begun again, so you might notice a little bit of activity falling. It's -11, -19 is what it feels like with that wind out of the north-northwest, 23 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 92%. Now, Environment Canada had registered that freezing rain, and then they took that icon down to just clouds. But when I was just up on the rooftop, there's still a little bit of activity, and I just want to warn you again about how slippery it is out on the streets, out on the sidewalks. I'm not going to be walking home today, and I'll tell you that, because I mean, any time that you've got to be outdoors for long periods of time, you increase your risk then of slipping. You might be able to get from, the car in the parking lot to wherever you're going, but with that bit of a penguin shuffle, it's not the kind of day that you want to be out for a leisurely stroll, just because those surfaces are so incredibly icy. That goes for motorists as well. The streets not ideal today. There you can see on the satellite image the precipitation that we're seeing with the heavier clouds across the entire province. Now, I'm not normally one for telling people to stay indoors. I just want you to be upright. So if you've got the spikes on your shoes, it's more so what you're wearing on your feet that will matter more today than what you're wearing as far as layers go. There will be a breeze up to about 50 kilometers per hour, and that will cut a little bit through some of those layers, but fairly mild overall, heading to a high of -6 and then dropping to -12 overnight. Those winds starting to ease, but tomorrow those winds will be back again, shifting out of the south. Temperatures, though, on the rise. 3 degrees is where we're headed, but another round of precipitation, this time in liquid form, the possibility of showers throughout the weekend, staying above the freezing mark for Sunday as well, and then falling back to those more seasonal temperatures, -3, a normal high.
A Winnipeg man who fatally shot 5 people in a rooming house has been found guilty of 5 counts of second-degree murder, and he didn't take his conviction quietly. After the jurors left the room and court was adjourned, Felix tried to talk to supporters in the courtroom gallery. That's when sheriffs tried to pull him away. Felix became visibly upset and began fighting them in court. During the melee, Felix's shirt was ripped off and one sheriff threatened to pepper spray him. The sheriffs eventually subdued Felix and let him out in handcuffs. The 2-week trial heard Felix had spent days smoking crack and drinking alcohol at the home before the shooting. Court heard he later admitted to his ex-girlfriend that he opened fire in one of the units. The Crown says Felix committed the shootings out of paranoia, while the defense suggested Felix was a patsy in a setup orchestrated by his late father. A nonprofit helping to build homes in the province is closed following a warehouse fire.
From our security cameras, we saw that someone broke into our compound and set a fire next to our overhead door, which then spread into the warehouse area. So very unfortunate and disruptive to our organization.
The CEO of Habitat for Humanity, Manitoba, says the Restore on Archibald Street, which sells donated building supplies at discounted prices, sustained substantial damage. He suspects the majority of supplies in the warehouse won't be salvageable, adding water from the sprinkler system also added to the damage.
We had smoke throughout the building, so our offices are upstairs. Our staff are working from home today, and we're just waiting to see the extent of that damage to see how do we recover from that. Do we need to find some temporary space, or do we, can we work from home in the short term?
The nonprofit is still accepting supply donations, which it will store at its Inkster Boulevard location. Police are investigating. The U.S. and Venezuela have agreed to re-establish diplomatic ties. The U.S. State Department says it will work with Venezuela's interim government on a peaceful transition to an elected government. In January, the U.S. captured former Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife in a raid. The two countries have since gradually resumed ties, including a deal announced this week on mining developments. A Canadian soccer icon paid a visit to Saskatchewan. She was among the keynote speakers, talking to a crowd inspired by her success. CTV's Jacob Carr explains.
An impressive lineup of keynote speakers at the Inspiring Leadership Forum, including Canadian women's soccer icon Christine Sinclair.
The more you can get out and try to inspire people, the better. And especially going across Canada, there's so much more to this country than just Vancouver and Toronto, for instance. So it's nice to get to different parts of the country to share our stories and, yeah, hopefully inspire some people in the crowd.
While Sinclair was looking to inspire the crowd, little did she know that 2 of her biggest supporters would drop in looking for an autograph from one of their heroes.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're really big fans.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I've seen her so many times in the shows and like playing soccer, and it was just so cool getting to meet her.
I really look up to her when I play soccer, and I want to be just like her when I grow up, and it was super cool to be able to meet her in person.
As a champion of growing not only the women's soccer game in North America, but all women's sports, Sinclair says she is happy to see leagues like the National Women's Soccer League and the Professional Women's Hockey League pick up steam in recent years.
My entire career, we were saying, if you put women on TV, if you put them in venues that people can access, people will come watch and people will tune in. And I think what you've seen over the past 5 years, for instance, that's the case.
Adding that while North American women's sports are on the upswing, more changes are still needed, such as improvement to outdated facilities and stadiums. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Here's a look at the current traffic situation now at Portage Avenue at Polo Park. It looks like things are moving well in this part of the city. If you have any traffic tips to share, please send us a text. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.46. The provincial average is $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is higher at $1.42. And the lowest price in the city is $1.36. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Well, Sunday is International Women's Day, so we asked for a cue of the day. Which woman do you want to celebrate, and tell us why? Lindsay says, my mom and my girlfriend both are resilient women and have a huge impact on my life. I'm thankful for both. A viewer shared Hazel McCallion should be mentioned as one of Canada's best mayors ever. We all could learn something from her. She was amazing in everything she does. Auntie Nina wants to celebrate her niece Nadia. Not only has she worked hard to achieve her profession, she has just lately become a mom to sweet twin baby girls. Patrick would like to celebrate his sister Kim Bogacki. She is the most most awesome sister anyone would want. Marlene wants to celebrate her daughter Jane for many reasons and her strong personality. A viewer sent this message: I am honoring my mom, Jody, today as it's her 65th birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. One other viewer said he'd like to celebrate daughter Jennifer. She's the lead instructor at the MITT Pharmacy Technician Program, a mother of 2 and a fantastic person. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provincial, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
International Women's Day, of course, is on Sunday. That's why we're talking about all these fabulous women. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. I think we should add 10 minutes at the end of the show and just talk about all the women that we love. And even still, I don't think we would have enough time.
We wouldn't.
Thank you so much for sharing those responses. We're talking the Indigenous lens this time at the University of Manitoba. Dr. Angie Bruce joins us to share and explain. Tell us about what's happening here at the U of M when it comes to exploring that, but the intersectionality as well.
So thank you for having me today. I think this is a wonderful topic in terms of understanding how Indigenous women come to leadership and approach leadership. What the research is showing us is that Indigenous women are really taking their positions on as a responsibility to community, a responsibility to their families, and a responsibility for the next 7 generations to come. And that really comes from the history. So we come from a matriarchal society. So many of our communities do. And so women used to be the leaders, looking at where are we going from a community perspective, having that conversation about what is important to the community overall. And so those traits and those considerations and those lessons are being brought to their leadership style now as they take on positions like here at the University of Manitoba.
And that doesn't, unfortunately, come without barriers, and financial barriers specifically. What have you learned?
So part of what I've learned is that women don't make it into leadership roles without actually having support and mentorship. So that, again, can hold Indigenous women at lower levels within organizations for a much longer period, impacting, of course, their financial ability to earn income. And then also, if they are held at lower levels, their influence on decision making. So I think the financial thing for me goes beyond the work. It goes back to, we contribute back. We are the contributors back to our families and our communities. Sometimes Indigenous women are the only people who are bringing in income. And so they support a larger purview of their families. They may send money back to community, to their grandparents, to their parents. And so financial stability and financial independence is critical.
Thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to the Indigenous women at Saugeen First Nation for getting that $25,000 grant from NFL Canada. I'm going to be speaking at a panel alongside those girls and the coach on International Women's Day. That's at the Pinnacle Room at Princess Auto Stadium.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, thank you. Let's go out to the rooftop. Ooh, that wind is picking up.
It is, and yeah, noticing the chill as it cuts through the layers. And the conditions, they're looking pretty gloomy still, and I am still seeing just a little bit of precipitation out here this morning. It's been freezing rain for the most part, which has made things like a skating rink, really. Just the ice on all of the surfaces out here, pretty treacherous for both motorists and pedestrians, and I've been warning you about that all morning long. You've got to be safe and do your best to stay upright. Traction on your feet is integral for if you're going out for a walk today, but no, it's going to be slippery all over. -11 feels like -19. There is a bit of a breeze that's increasing, and that wind could get even stronger yet. Up to 50 wind gusts out of the northwest today will add that additional bite and perhaps cut through those layers, because it's the damp cold today that we often hear about in other parts of the country, whereas we're typically that dry cold that is a little bit easier to endure. Well, that's not the case today, so no, you'll want those extra layers on, and will remain slightly below seasonal here in the southeast, whereas other parts of the province will make it up to normal values in the southwest and above seasonal up north, and we'll be warming up for the weekend with plus digits on the way. Taking a break, we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Have a news tip,
When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
One of television's most beloved homes is now a permanent city landmark. The Brady Bunch house has been protected in Los Angeles. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has more on what it means for the piece of TV history.
Here's the story of a lovely lady. The Brady Bunch, all 9 of them, including Alice, packed into this split-level ranch for 6 glorious seasons starting in 1969.
We got fantastic news! What? It happened! What happened? The fantastic news! Well, that clears that up.
The show, the family, the shag carpet, even that floating staircase becoming cultural fixtures. But it was the house that drew the crowds and still does.
If you're my age, you know what that house is by me.
Now, the Los Angeles City Council has declared the Brady Bunch house an official cultural monument in a unanimous vote Wednesday. The status means the house in the San Fernando Valley is protected from demolition. The truth is, the show was actually shot on a soundstage, and the exteriors of the house were just used to establish scenes. But that didn't stop a bidding war in 2018, with HGTV buying the ranch for $3.5 million and creating a new show, a very Brady renovation. Cast members taking today on a tour of the construction site.
I literally did not even know where this place was until 1990.
Yeah, most people on the show had never been actually inside this house.
The actors from the Brady Bunch tore down the interiors and helped recreate their TV home, including that staircase. Now there are new owners who opened the house to the public for the first time last fall for limited private tours. A piece of historic Americana that became the star of the show.
That's the way we became the Brady Bunch.
Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
If you're looking for some good homemade Ukrainian food, desserts, or even traditional items like jewelry and clothing, you can find it in a one-stop shop. The Ukrainian Easter Market is back next weekend. And joining us now to tell us more about the market and some of the items you can find there are Victoria Maslovska from Beeswax Creation and artisan smoked meat producer Dmytro Zalutsky. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Easter is a big celebration in your culture, right? It's one of the biggest holidays you celebrate.
On my opinion, it's the biggest holiday, actually, when all family gather together and special atmosphere and everyone gathering around a beautiful table. So that's probably the biggest religious holiday in Ukraine.
And you do it big, with all kinds of food and decor, and you brought us just a hint of what people can expect. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, your business, because you deal with beeswax, right? So you did bring some of your items here?
Yes, I brought my beeswax candles, regular ones, painted ones. Also, I brought my beeswax skin creams. In my past, I used to have bees back in Ukraine, and that's something I brought here in Canada and started as a small business here.
And so this is something that was just perfect for you when you did come to Canada, so it helped you reestablish yourself and get some independence in this country, right?
Definitely, also because I have 2 kids, and it's very comfortable for me to stay at home most time and make my products at home, and then come to markets and sell something I'm doing, something I'm using and I love.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there are 56 different vendors that will be at this market, the Easter market, including your smoked meat. Dmytro, tell us a little bit about how you got started in this business.
Yeah, I want to show you today. It's traditional Ukrainian kielbasa.
Okay.
It's a coarse grain kielbasa. Also, we have Ukrainian bacon. It's over here, you can see, pork loin and Ukrainian mortadella.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's so delicious stuff.
Well, I can almost smell it from here.
Yeah.
How did you even get started in this business? Is this something you've been doing for a long time?
Yes, I started this business 1 year ago.
Okay.
But in Ukraine, it was my hobby, but today it's my business,
Okay, and when you're set up at an Easter market like this, what does it do to your business to be able to, show it off off and sell it to people that might not necessarily know about you?
My people know about me because I have social media.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Instagram and Facebook, and I'm from Winkler, and in Winkler I have a store, little bit store. And people come to me and buy my product. But in Winnipeg, I have a delivery, and I sell my product in farmers market.
Okay, so this is a good way to get introduced to it. Now this market is happening. The Easter market is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. You have so many different items here. Tell us a little bit more about what we see here on the table.
Yes, we will give you a little peek of traditional Easter table in Ukraine. So traditionally, of course, we have our paska, babka, and pisanki, and of course meat. Not any paska goes without meat, because after long fast, everyone celebrating with meat and taking all this with basket to the church.
Incredible, and we're already out of time, but just take a look at this table. It's going to be way bigger than this when you actually check it out for yourself. It's happening next Saturday at the Ukrainian National Federation Hall on Saturday, March 14th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You definitely need to check this out.
So beautiful, not to mention tasty looking. Oh my goodness. All right, a look outside, less aesthetic, I suppose, with these heavier clouds hanging over us. It's not looking ideal. It's gloomy, it's gray, and it's incredibly icy. -11 is where we're sitting right now, though it feels like -19. That wind, it's going to cut right through those layers. 23 kilometers per hour out of the north-northwest. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 92%. That slick surface that we're dealing with this morning, both the streets, the sidewalks, you name it, is going to slow you down a little bit. At least you should slow down unless you find yourself on the bottom. It is going to be icy today because of the freezing rain and a little bit below seasonal, but the warm-up is coming. The weekend itself, a plus digits, both Saturday and Sunday, but still more precipitation likely in liquid form before we see those temperatures dropping off and back to seasonal for next week. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, Terry, the weekend's here, but before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with a clever way to get new customers into your shop.
Oh, I love it.
This guy was told to bring in new clients, and that's what he did while pretending to be a swing plant. He directs new people into the store with a gentle push. There you go.
Could you imagine?
Once you get in, you can never leave. Now to a Wicked fan showing off his love for the film stars in a very unique way. Well, the world-renowned artist Jace Hillart made this portrait of Elphaba and Glinda by writing their names nearly 12,000 times.
The cramp you would get in your hand.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible. That's
wild.
Such talent.
And now for a little early morning math. Yeah, I've already given up. According to the sign, if you take 85 minus your age plus 40, that will equal to the year you were born. Is it right, Terry?
Oh, I don't know. I was like 85 pizza slices.
And then finally, the best part of waking up is seeing the one you love beside you. Look at that face. Trevor the Iggy is the apple of his dad's eye. He knows it too. Look at his face. He's so sweet. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you Monday.